Let's go live here, huh? Let's do all the things. Hey, it's live. Nope. No. You know what's good about Internet Explorer?
Nothing.
That is correct, Michael. You have won. You are the winner of today's secret question. Hey, there we are. You are the winner of today's secret question. Yeah, just go live now. And let's start. Hey, there we are. You are the winner of today's... Mike, talk. Devon, talk.
This is Mike talking because Steven told me to talk. He wants me to talk, and now I'm talking.
All right, shut up.
Jeez, you rudo.
Mike, talk. Devon, talk.
This is Mike talking because Steven told me to talk. He wants me to talk, and now I'm talking.
All right, shut up.
Devon's talking.
Mike, talk.
Okay.
What is wrong with that overlay? It's like perfect.
Because Steven told me
Nothing.
to talk, and now I'm talking.
Devon's talking.
What is wrong with that overlay? It's like perfect. All right.
I would never complain about your
thing. Whatever, I could tell. Hey, chat, how's it going? We're glad to have you all with us because you're really the best. Our chat is the best. Is there a better chat than the chat that we have? I don't know. I don't think so. There probably isn't any.
Let me see. All the people.
There's a better chat.
I don't know.
People here, so thanks to everyone for hanging out. We're gonna have a fun discussion and a lot of stuff going on in the world, and
maybe not all of them. I don't think we have time for all of the discussions, and
No,
you two definitely are not deep enough for any of the discussions.
I mean, we could definitely talk about how my stocks are doing right now and the stock decisions I've made in my portfolio.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
We don't have time for bad decisions.
Why would
Isn't that insider trading?
I'm not inside the company. So if I say, hey, Zynga has been performing really, really well this year, then that would be a good tip for you to go buy Zynga stock.
Well, because you said so?
I mean, it's working out for me. I don't know why it wouldn't work out for you.
Because you're an insider.
I don't work at Zynga. I'm not associated with Zynga in any way. I don't even...
What about Buzz Zynga?
Oh, jeez.
See, I mean, that's how we transition away from that kind.
Oh, Jesus.
You haven't nailed it. Why are you making people's laughs?
Listen to my kid. Well, the next time I see him, he's going to get a punch in the pants.
Oh, man.
Like, hey, what's
All right.
I'll know it's coming. I will block it. Yeah,
It'll be
nothing
months
goes
from
over
now
my head.
before we see each other.
I am too fast. Whatever. I think it's going to get lifted in like 28 seconds.
Have you seen our governor? Do you know who our governor is?
Yeah. I also have other comments to say that we won't do on this particular thing because we're not those people. We do have stuff to talk about. We have tons of stuff to talk about.
I'm like, where's all this stuff? I'm on the wrong page.
Like, where's Waldo?
Oh my
Great
God.
opening, everyone. Thank you for coming.
We appreciate you all. Except Devon, he showed up and his screen was upside down. Poor guy.
It's really hot in this garage. Sweating as you can.
I don't think we just thought you were glowing. So
I am,
Well,
I do have a glowing personality.
Well,
all right. Shall we get this thing started? I'll say a couple words and then jump right into it. Everyone got their food. Everyone got their drinks. Everyone ready to go? Got the DP. Devon's got his alcohol. What is that? Is that just water? Water with ice? What kind of jug are you drinking out of?
A big mason jar. With a hand.
Pinterest, the thing that my wife looks at for 8 hours, and then I eat things out of mason jars.
I got this at a garage sale. I chose it myself.
All right, let's get this show on the road. I can't do it now. All right, here we go.
Was choked in the water.
All right, before
It's
we
garage sale water.
There has been a lot going on in the world. And there's a lot of voices out there that are more qualified to talk about it than us three. And there's a lot of places where you can find those. There's a lot of people talking about the protests and about Black Lives Matters on Twitch. I suggest if you want good commentary on that, you seek out those people who are better qualified to talk about it. I will say that the Freelancer Codex, I don't think that, I think people have stopped listening to each other in this world, and it's had a great effect on it. And I wish people would just listen to each other more and be willing to understand people instead of hearing without listening. And I think if we would just learn to listen to each other again, the world would be a much better place. So on that note, I hope everyone is safe, and I'm glad that we have video games that can bring us together and that can cross, you know, all the different types of people. It just it brings us together, and it helps build communities where I think we've found the best communities that I've been a part of have been built around video games. And I know that's what it does for us, and I hope it continues to do that for others. So thank you for being with us. And on that note, we'll start episode 125 of the Freelancer Codex podcast.
You are listening to the Freelancer Codex, a podcast brought to you by the Shut Up and Respawn Network.
All right, we are here to talk about some fun stuff. But first, I would like to say thank you for being with us. This is June 4th, 2020. We are in another month of 2020, which is scary because 2020 has been a heck of a year for everyone. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us in chat. KFS, thanks for hanging out with us. I'm here with Mike and Devon. Guys, I hope that you are well. I'm always grateful for the opportunity that we get to talk once a week about video games and just kind of check in with everyone and see what everyone is up to. So, Mike, in the gaming world, what have you been up to this past week?
Past week, I have been playing Minecraft Dungeons. I beat the first stage on the default setting and moved up to the adventurer status where you get to go through everything and level up.
Whole game.
So it's the whole game, but as you,
I thought you meant just first level, and I was like, what?
No. So I went through, beat the Ender monster dragon. What's his name? The Arch Illager.
Whoa, I haven't got there yet. All right, simmer down.
Seriously,
you haven't got there? All right.
So no Ender dragon. I misspoke, but the Arch Illager, I defeated him, and once you defeat him, there's a little cutscene, and you get to go and start over and do it all again at a higher difficulty. So that's where I am now. That's where I'm doing now, and just playing with the boys and working on that and playing that, watching the boys play Minecraft and watching them do all the games that they get to do and have fun with. So
very cool. Devon, what have you been up to? Because I know you've been playing a lot of Minecraft Dungeons as well.
Yeah, I've been playing some. I haven't been playing as much as Mike, but I've been playing some in multiple locations. Frustratingly, with multiple different characters that, progress is not saved across each one. It's not shared. But we talked about that last week.
Strangest thing. No, it's still super strange. I mean, is that even something that they've said that they're working on?
Yeah, I mean, they're working on it eventually. I mean, like we said last week, I think for PC and Xbox, like when you buy that on the Windows Store, it should just sync with your account because you have to log into your Xbox Live account anyways. And I see no reason that should not save at all.
I agree. It's kind of ridiculous that they put it out with that, having that there. So, is anything else you've been playing? Have you been working on Days Gone at all?
Not Days Gone. I played. So I streamed yesterday, but that was with Minecraft, and it's. I don't know if I'm gonna play it or not again, but I have a couple other games in mind that I'm gonna, since I'm starting to stream on Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the evenings. I don't know. I've been playing Sea of Thieves and playing Trials.
Is there just nothing that's grabbing you that like is drawing you to say, "Hey, I have to finish this game"?
No, not really. Not for Days Gone. It's just like I could play it, and it seems like to me. I mean, maybe I could give it like another hour, but I'm guessing since the missions that they want me to go on is basically they'll kill these people because they're not part of our group and they're in our way. I don't want to play that.
Very cool. Now, I've just been continuing to grind down Dark Souls 3. That's a game that I have. That game's hard. It doesn't really hold your hand at all. It's just kind of like, here you go. You're going to die a lot. Go figure it out. So I'm going to keep grinding that, streaming that in the morning. Man, some days getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to stream is really, really tough. So Devon, you and I did that we did that probably like from October of last year all the way to February.
I think it was longer than that. Like it was whatever. I don't know. It was a long time.
And it was actually a lot easier to get up when you and I were both streaming Divinity Original Sin, because that's still a game that I really want to go back to and finish before Baldur's Gate 3 comes out. And I'm guessing that thing is going to go into early access pretty soon, considering that they were talking about that happening sometime in the middle of this year. But with COVID and everything going on, who knows if we're going to hit that. So I'm going to continue to play Dark Souls 3 and grind through that and beat that game. Cool. So a little bit of housekeeping. If you want to message the podcast to have a voicemail read or an email, so in order to leave a message, if you go to anchor.fm/Freelancer Codex, you can leave us a message. We'll play it on the show. We'll discuss the topic that you want or whatever questions you have. If you want to ask Devon why he's drinking out of a mason jar, you can do that there. Or you can email us at freelancercodex@gmail.com, and you can drop us a line there. And first, we really want to thank all of our patrons that have been supporting the show. So we want to thank Julius, Nathan B, Michael R, Trent B, Man in Steel, Scout 69, Dragonheart 76, Jeffrey H, and Gameplay Experience. This month, I had just sent out the last of our challenge coins for our $10 patrons who have been supporting us at that level. Thank you very much. Expect those in the mail. So we got a lot of cool stuff happening over on our Patreon page, something that we're updating and trying to figure out how we can make it better and how to add more value to you, our users. If you'll notice that there will be an ad at the beginning of this podcast, it's another way that we're trying to monetize and help us offset a couple of the costs that we have. If you do not want ads in your podcast feed, you can go support us at the dollar level, and supporting us at any level at patreon.com/Freelancer Codex will get rid of those ads. So very cool. So this week we had the opportunity on Monday to interview a Anthem community, the LegoManiacs, and we have several of them in chat right now hanging out with us. KFS and I Am Bango are from that community. We got to chat with them this Monday and record that interview. We will put that interview on the back end of the show. So all of our podcast listeners, you'll get that tomorrow morning when the podcast goes live. And then we will also add that to the YouTube episode when we post that. Devon will splice that video feed in. So we had a really good chat with another community. The LegoManiacs will drop their Discord information and their links in the show notes so that everyone has access to those. We had a good time talking to other people that were as passionate about Anthem as we are. And, I hope that's something that continues into when 2.0 releases, however far down the road that is, that knowing that there's other communities that are just as excited, that enjoy, continuing to make builds and continue to play through Anthem and all the stuff that BioWare has created for us. It's nice to know that there are still communities playing those games. I mean, anytime we're online, we always get the whole, oh, people still play this game, Anthem's dead. That joke that everyone likes to play in because they think it's a funny joke. But yeah, there's still people playing it, and they're good communities of people that come together and found a space for themselves and continue to grind out that game. So thanks to the LegoManiacs for coming on and hanging out with us. Hopefully we'll be able to do that again in the future. And we'll just, this is how you build communities. You support each other and you look out for each other. So Bango says hi to Devon.
Hey.
Yeah, so we really appreciate everyone hanging out with us. All right. So moving on, we actually, I guess if we don't have anything else, I think it's time to get to the news, right? Let's jump into the news, Devon.
Lots of news.
I gotta talk to you about something.
Thanks, Keanu. Keanu's the best,
Keanu.
right?
Keanu?
Yeah, that's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
I was actually really bummed that, the one time I get invited to an Xbox conference and I'm like, no, I won't go because I'm hanging out with the BioWare guys. Then Keanu Reeves appears at the conference. And I missed my chance to see Keanu Reeves do what he does and become an internet meme.
You got a better view in that where we were at than you would have if you. Promise.
Do you think so? Do you think it would have been better if I was there in person?
No, because you wouldn't have been able to see him. He would have been like 300-400 feet away.
Think I would have been in the nosebleed?
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks. All right, Mike, you want to kick us
So,
off?
Steve, I got a question for you. Actually, I have a question for Devon.
All right.
Devon, how many consoles are out there in the world?
In the world?
Well, I should let me rephrase. That was a terrible question. How many different types of consoles are there?
What?
Not like don't tell me like how many worldwide Xboxes there are, but how many editions of each console?
Is China included?
Sure, yeah.
I have no idea for China.
There was only one NES. I don't don't think they released any other types of NES. Well, that depends on if you count like, the
got
Japanese.
there's the
the
Super
European
NES.
version,
Well, the Super NES and the NES aren't the same thing, though. That's a different console.
Okay, so how many?
I don't. Lots.
No, there's
No,
a
I mean-
finite number. There's a finite number. How many
Yeah.
did Nintendo have? Nintendo had 4. NES, SNES, GameCube, 64.
The 64, then they had the Wii, then they had the Wii U, then they got the Switch. But then if you're talking, they've got Game Boy Color, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Advance, then all the different variation of those, the
You
Game
got
Boy.
Colecos, you got Commodores, you got Ataris, you got.
How many PlayStations and
Televisions.
handhelds?
There's, they got PS Vitas.
This shouldn't be a hard question for PlayStation, Devin.
They got.
They number there, so
plus
there's
some
5.
Slim models.
You got Slim.
Different
Okay.
architecture within it.
How many Segas?
PS4 Pro. They got Sega
They got the
CDs, Sega what Genesis?
And the Dreamcast?
Yeah, something.
Genesis, Dreamcast. What was their handheld called?
Not the Neo
Game-
Geo.
Neo Geo wasn't Sega, it's the Game Gear.
That's what I said.
The
not
Game
Neo
Gear.
Geo.
Did you guys have a Game Gear?
No.
You didn't have a Game Gear? I feel so sorry
I had
for
a
you,
Game
man.
Boy.
It was the longest segue into this.
Steve, did you have a Game Gear?
No, I didn't. They required.
Oh man, so you know what? The two of you,
AA batteries at a time.
the two of you are in luck because Sega is coming out with they're re-releasing their Game Gear, the 1990 handheld, as a mini retro console for the company's 60th anniversary.
So when
How cool is that?
I mean, it'd be
Can
cool if it
you tell
actually
me
came
how
to
many it is
America.
first before I decide how cool it is?
So it is about 3 inches long, 3 inches wide, I should say,
You should
and
have
about
experience then with
about close to 2 inches tall. With a are you ready? Are you ready for this? With a 1.15 inch digital screen.
I don't even have a ruler.
About like this.
That's about like that. I believe it can fit in the palm of your 6-year-old's hand. So you remember when you're playing it out here? Now you get to play it right here.
Remember when Will Smith pulled the noisy cricket?
I mean,
So yeah.
when
So
they
those
sell
of
a
you who got
magnifier before they even sell the system.
they do. There is a magnifier coming out that's going to be sold because of course you need it. Yeah, it's coming out. It's going to be released in Japan in October. It's kind of a neat thing. You see that all going on with all the companies doing a retro console. I picked up the Super Nintendo retro console. You know, tiny little thing. Plug it in, play all those games.
And that one comes with lots of games. And
It does come with lots of games.
you have the know-how, you can also put more games on it. Like my biggest, I shouldn't even say biggest when we were talking about this. So first of all, earlier in the week, there were rumors that there was going to be some big Sega news, right? I don't know if this was the big Sega news that was rumored.
It was.
I thought you said Sega New, like that was their product. There's gonna be a big Sega News coming out. I'm like,
Sega-Nu.
what's a Sega New? I don't even know what that is.
So the rumor was Microsoft was going to buy Sega and then rebrand the Series X in Japan as the new Sega console and then try to enter the market that way. But so with the Dreamcast Mini or with the Game Gear Micro, there's 4 different versions and each different version comes with 4 different games.
So to get 16 games, you got to get 4 different things at about $46 each. So that math comes out to $3,700 to get these 16 games. It's just not right. It's not worth it.
I don't know why they're like, hey, this was Like, I don't know who's gonna buy it and who's gonna play games on it. That's like,
Just
I don't
collectors.
understand
That's why it's only being sold in Japan. It's not made for worldwide market. It's just, hey, look at this. It's cool. You know, people overhyped stuff. You know, they might have had Aaron Greenberg hyping up their stuff beforehand. I don't know.
But I mean, like, so here's my issue. Like, this is cool, and if it was here, would you buy one? Yes, we would probably buy one, right? Would I hate myself that I bought it because it only comes with 4 games? Yes, I would. Would I try to mod it to add more games? Definitely. Would I ever play a game on it? No, I would not, because the screen is too dang small to do anything on it. So, I mean,
Well, and then where do you take it? Do you carry it with you? Do you throw it in your, well, what do you have in your pocket? You've got your phone, you've got your keys, you've got stuff already in your pocket.
My phone.
Well, what I'm saying is, where you gonna put your game gear? You know,
you can stick it in your mouth, carry it around there. You can stick
that's
it
weird.
Small enough. I mean, like carrying it around isn't the issue. It's wanting to play on a 1-inch screen that would be the issue.
That would be the issue for you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's cool, I guess. It's like a novelty thing. Will they ever come here? I don't know. Maybe they will. I'm guessing that if there's enough demand, if enough angry people fill out petitions online, they will. But I don't know. Anyway, I just thought it was a pretty cool. It's one of those things that, oh, that's cool, but I don't think it's like practical at all in any shape or form. Especially if they're like, hey, we made a magnifying glass so you can actually see it. It's like, well, why wouldn't you just make it bigger? Like, it doesn't even have to be that much bigger, right, Devon?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. The buttons are going to be way too small. I'll just hit both of them.
Maybe it's one of those things you can pretend you're a giant with. You can just hold it and be like, I'm a giant and I'm playing this thing.
We've done that with the Nintendo consoles since, you know, I mean, their buttons are always super small and their stuff. But anyway, Devon, you want to hit us with this next piece of news that both of you and I are super excited about?
Super excited. Awesome. Amazing
Try
news.
to sound excited about it, though.
Tell your face. You're excited. Tell your face.
It was. No, so it was leaked late last night. Kingdoms of Amalur, Re-Reckoning, remaster. It's coming out. THQ bought the IP about 2 years ago, and they said right away they were gonna work with it, and this is the fruit of their labor. Their first stuff. They're remastering the game. You get all of the DLC. You get the full game with some updated. How do they exactly?
I think it's just updated textures and some updated mechanics.
Yeah, so yeah, they have updated mechanics. That's what I was kind of looking for. Their exact wording for that. So I'm interested to see what they have for that. But I mean, it doesn't look. It looks way better than the original game, but it's not like super, next gen impressive looking, because it's not built for that. It wasn't made for that. And even on their PC stuff, it has like runs on Windows 8. So as long as you have better than Windows 8, you're okay. But I mean, I'm really excited. I really enjoyed this game, and it was the first kind of RPG game that really got me into RPGs. Before that, I was like, who plays RPGs? Only losers play RPGs. Because I was all about first-person shooters, and that was it. And I was like, if I'm not shooting other people, why am I playing this game? So, but Steven, it's like, come on, let's grow a little bit and try something different. And I loved it, and I enjoyed it, and had a great time. And I was super upset when the studio closed and they made lots of bad financial decisions.
All the bad financial decisions.
So bad. They were like $75 million in debt. It was bad. So,
and they got sued by Rhode Island, and I think they still owe Rhode Island money or something.
No, they settled for $2.5 million with Rhode Island. So,
and Kurt Schilling sold his bloody sock, and then
bloody sock to pay for it. Blood. It was. I'm excited. I'm hoping this leads to future games in the IP, and like you can join their Discord. They have all kinds of stuff. Devs, or at least the community management team, is super active over there, and so is the community. It's got a couple thousand people in it already, and they're make sure you hit that mute conversations or change that real quick because it is just going all the time. But yeah, no, it's really excited. They haven't announced the full release date yet. It's funny because they're like trying to be coy about it. I'm guessing, you know, this news was supposed to come with one of the events that was going to happen today, so something for IGN or one of the other ones where they were going to announce it. And so there are images you can see on the pre-order pages and no video because I'm guessing they'll show that off next week when they resume the game conference events. And I'm excited. So there's 2 different dates. It's either August 11th or August 18th.
Either way, it's super close.
Yeah, it's super close, you know, 2 months away. The interesting thing, like they put up after it leaked and then they purposely put up on Amazon the links and stuff to buy it. The collector's edition for, you know, sold out within less than an hour. And that's kind of crazy. So
yeah, and the collector's edition comes with a big statue of one of the main characters in the game and a couple other little art things. It's a really cool.
If I
was
bought
like
physical games, that would be what I would buy, but I don't.
Yeah, and then it's just another statue. I mean, it's a cool statue, but the nice thing about Kingdoms of Amalur is it was a fun game back then. The art direction that they took, it was a stylized art direction.
Yeah.
So it's not going to age poorly like a Bethesda game would from back then.
Yeah.
Because it's not going for like, you know, some sort of photorealism. I know the Bethesda games don't do that, but they're a little bit more on the realistic side and on the brown side. So they look muddy and washed when you try to port them over. But hey, I mean, Skyrim's a thing. People love that game, whatever. But Kingdoms is actually, you know, I'm really excited to pick this up again. I think it's only going to be $40 according to the Amazon listing price.
Yep.
Don't know if it's going to come to Game Pass. I mean, it might, maybe, who knows? It'd be cool if it did. But hey, I'm willing to pay
I'm gonna pay
for the game because one of the big things that got me excited about playing Kingdoms of Amalur back in the day, before my little brother pawned my only copy of it, was that it was written or Rob Salvatore, R.A. Salvatore, the creator of Just Doerden and the Icewind Dale trilogy. He helped write it, and then Todd McFarlane of Spawn fame was also part of the art team. So yeah, that's what got me excited for it in the first place. So yeah, super excited about this. And then I don't know if you guys heard about this or not at all. This was a rumor. I mean, this is a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt, whatever it is. But I thought it was kind of interesting because someone on Reddit that does localization from a different country. This is a Reddit user that you can find on there. I don't know if it's been removed or not, but this was a Reddit user on the Harry Potter game subreddit. It says, this is the quote from the Redditor: "I'm doing voiceovers for commercials and for a group dubbing game trailers. One of the distributors who are partnered with Warner Brothers wrote to me regarding something completely else, but they mentioned that they were in negotiations with Warner to have a certain language localization, at least in subtitles, for the upcoming Harry Potter game next year." Next year's is in caps. "I can only guess this is that leaked alpha footage game. We saw the leaked Harry Potter footage. It must have been 2018 E3? No.
I thought it was last year. Yeah,
Was it last year?
It was last year when it leaked online. It never showed at E3 or anywhere, but it was from there. Like they were showing it off behind closed doors. But I mean, I'm definitely on board for Harry Potter.
And they continue to say, "I of course won't mention the country, the distributor company, and the language they want to make a localization of. Take the news as a rumor, but don't be surprised if it becomes true." All right. So we know that they were working on something. We know that, I mean, it should be pretty close to coming out. We don't know, like you said, Devon, I don't know if it's next year or what, but question for you guys. If, Devon, you say you're on board, like what type of Harry Potter game are you on board for? Just a single player RPG? Do you want to play as one of the trio or a completely different person?
I would like my own character. I don't want to play as one of the trio. I want to create my own, wizard, basically. My own character and really just experience that world and go through. I would really like an RPG, and maybe if you had, where you could do 3 or 4 players go up together, having a group and going and doing things. I mean, you can see in the movies and the groups are always, 3 or 4 going out and doing things, and it would definitely make things really interesting, and you can go just experience a co-op RPG together, action RPG set within the Harry Potter universe. It could even be before or after. You know, I'm definitely interested.
Mike, as a Harry Potter fan yourself, does a game interest you at all?
Yes, and I agree with what Devon says. I'd like to be my own character, have my own sorting ceremony, learn my own spells, and I think I would like it more. I think if I were to play maybe in the first war when Voldemort rises and play in that time frame versus with Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
I think we spent enough time with them, and Harry is just as annoying
I
as
don't
he
know what
was.
you're talking about. We can spend many more movies with.
Are you sure? Are you
I'm
sure
sure.
that? I don't know if that's what you want. All right, Devin.
With the three of us would go to that movie, the opening night.
I don't know if there's movie theaters anymore, Devin.
There's drive-in movie theaters. They're opening Friday, so
they're opening this Friday.
Yep, this Friday here in town.
Huh. So I don't know. I guess I have to see what kind of game it is. If it's like a single player with co-op, fine. If it's like if it's supposed to be like Harry Potter live service game, I'm uninterested. I do not want to grind for materials to make potions. I don't want to have to spend money for a different robe. Like if it's a single player narrative, like cool, go for it. We'll spend some time in there. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, this is just a rumor, so I'm excited to see what's coming of this. All right, so this is something that I know Devon is going to love, because anytime we talk about Sony stuff, Devon gets really excited. All right, so this comes from Polygon. So there was a release from, I think it was Jim Ryan was talking about this, but the news article says after July, all new PS4 games must run on the PS5, according to Sony. And this will be important as we talk about a couple things coming down the line. So the PlayStation 5 release is visible on the horizon, but for the next few months, the PlayStation 4 will remain Sony's flagship console, according to a report from Eurogamer. So Sony has already informed developers that any PlayStation 4 game submitted after July 13th will also have to be compatible with the PlayStation 5. So July 13th is significant because of Ghost of Tsushima, right?
Yeah, so it's after that.
So this month we are getting The Last of Us, and then next month we get Ghosts, which are the last two big first-party titles coming out for the PlayStation. So to me, and just because we love to read into things like way too deeply and to like go after the conspiracy theory, I don't think Ghosts or Last of Us are going to be playable on the PlayStation 5.
Well, I mean, Jim Ryan already said. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work. I mean, they don't have a great back compatibility. But it's interesting because for most people, the Xbox, it's not like something you have to on developer because they have put in the won't need an update, it'll just run. Versus kind of their whole thing is you have to make it so that it works. If you 100 plus million, I understand, and it's kind of the cross gen, time frame. Half, and I don't know. It's funny because of their messaging. Earlier last week it was, we're doing exclusives. Like, well, you make stuff for PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, we can jump into that quote because that's the next thing we have right here. So Jim Ryan says, "We have always said that we believe in generations. We believe that when you go to all the trouble of creating a next generation console, that it should include features and benefits that the previous generation does not include. And that, in our view, people should make games that can make the most of those features. We do believe in generations, and whether it's a DualSense controller, whether it's the 3D audio, whether it's the multiple ways that the SSD can be used, we are thinking that it's time to give the PlayStation community something new, something different that can really only be enjoyed on PS5. Let's see.
Audio's going in and out. I don't know why. It switches things. We're trying a new streaming thing. Yeah, no, I think it's just funny that they would force, basically, they're forcing cross-gen development, and it's just funny online when you get to that. When I like to hang out in a lot of places where there's a lot of console warriors.
Why do you do that to yourself, though?
Because it's fun for me to read, and I like to piss myself off. It's fun, and yeah, I don't know. It's just one week they say it's the best decision ever, and then the next week they're like, "Oh yeah, you also have to do cross-gen games now." Because nobody that's making big AAA games is not going to develop for the last generation of. We saw it at the beginning of this generation. We saw it at the last generation before that. You're not just going to instantly drop, 160 million consoles. Be like, oh, we're only going to make it for next gen. Sure, there's some small studios that are doing that, but they're also getting paid from, Sony or Microsoft and getting help do that to help cover their costs, to recoup the costs of the. I don't know. It's interesting. They definitely have different strategies going forward. Microsoft is doing the cross-gen type of, you're going to play it on all the different devices and those kind of things. But versus Sony's, I don't know what they're going to do with their first party. It just seems crazy to me that they're only going to make exclusives for the PlayStation 5. I know they want people to switch, but when you have 110 plus million people on your last-gen console, you're not going to make your new game for them. And when they're only going to have limited supply for their PlayStation 5, that would just kind of piss me off.
Yeah, it's weird. It's also weird that, okay, so you have to come out and tell us that you're going to do new stuff and you want people to do new stuff with your console. That seems like a no-brainer. Yeah, we know that you're going to do. I think this is just this is some weird spin that, hey guys, look at us. We're going to do stuff new. Because earlier in the week, Matt Booty, of Xbox says, as our content comes out over the next 2 years, all of our games, sort of like PC, will play up and down that family of devices, says Matt Booty, head of Microsoft internal development teams at Xbox Game Studios. In an interview with MVC, we want to make sure that if someone invests in Xbox between now and Series X, that they feel that they made a good investment and that we're committed to them with content. So, the two quotes make it seem like they're vastly different ideas for content coming out in the future, right?
Yeah.
It makes it sound like Xbox is like, yeah, if you buy this game, you can play it here, even though this is a better console. And, you don't have to buy, even when Halo Infinite comes out the end of this year, you're going to be able to play it on an Xbox One. Is that correct, Devon?
Yeah, you'll be able to play it on an Xbox One. You'll be able to play it on PC. You'll be able to play it on the Xbox Series X, the Xbox One X. I just think it's funny because Sony's just like, oh, developers can't, focus on the next gen. But it's like they've been doing that for forever. If they make a game for the PC, they have all this different, hardware that they have to work. Versus, when they have multiple consoles, yes, it costs more money. But they know the exact specs, specifications of what they're dealing with versus PC where it's just a whole line all right, we gotta hope it works with this, hope it works with this. Let's find the lowest GPU we can use to actually kind of run this game versus, okay, here's our known bottom line to launch Xbox One, and I'm really interested in what they're gonna do with Halo Infinite. But to kind of imagine or say that the developers can't take advantage of next-gen hardware because they're also bringing the game out this gen is kind of crazy to me. Because I'm sure they're going to have more studios working on that version of the game. Maybe 343 is working on the Series X version in PC. And maybe they have somebody else at, say, Saber Studios or whatever that do a lot of ports. They're working on the Xbox One version. I don't know.
It's interesting because in the PC world, if you play Control on a 2080 Ti and you turn the settings all the way up, the game is gorgeous. But that doesn't mean you can't play Control on like a 980, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look as good. Like all those settings are turned down. You're not going to get as high frame rates. I mean, is that just what we're talking about? That if I'm playing Infinity X or Halo Infinite on a base Xbox One, I'm probably not going to be pushing 60 frames. I'm probably not going to have all the, sliders turned up to where I have, tons of foliage or wind or particle effects in there. But I mean, you'll still be able to play. So I guess I don't understand exactly like.
Well, because they're talking like taking advantage of the solid state drive and their CPU, GPU, and everything they're doing. They're saying, oh, these features will change the way they design games. That's yes and no, but really the only way that that's going to change is if that's across the board. Like, they're developers not going to invest $60 to $100 million and only focus on just that one platform, except for first party, right? So Sony's first party games will take full advantage of the SSD speeds, their different frequencies and everything else going for the CPU, GPU. They'll max that out as best as they can, and they do a great job of that. All their first party studios do a lot of good stuff. But third parties, they're going to perform better, look better, because that's how it went this generation. That's going to go next generation. The more powerful hardware, third parties focus on that, and for the most part, it runs better, unless they do a really bad job, like Capcom with Resident Evil. It's just, that's how it works, and they're not going to leave behind all these people, because that's where they make money. You have 160 million current gen consoles out there. Plus, that doesn't even include the Switch. They're downgrading all kinds of crap to make Switch versions of games, sacrificing everything just to get it to run on the Switch, and they're still doing it, and people are buying it.
Right, because they love the ability to take it on the go, and it's not, oh, this doesn't look as good. It's like, no, they buy it so they can take it on the go. So yeah, I mean, a good point. It's not even something that I considered. It's like, people, every new game is getting ported to the Switch in some way or another.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think it'll be nice when we can finally see games running on new hardware.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited.
Yeah. So let's do that. So Mike, what's our next story here?
You're muted.
So we have been talking a lot about Minecraft Dungeons. Devon and I have played. Steve has dabbled in it a little bit and has decided that he has reached his max, which is fine. But it looks like that we will be getting our first DLC coming in July, which is pretty cool, because if you have played, you're probably near the end or have beaten the end. I think so. Talking to Steve's oldest boy, he says that he's beaten it also, and he got past him. So we get to talk about that. So we'll be looking for Minecraft Dungeons DLC. Jungle Awakens is expected to release in July.
So
we're excited for that. It's gonna be fun. Say that again.
You have all the secret areas unlocked?
Do I have all the secret areas unlocked?
Yeah.
I guess I don't. It's a secret. Shh. You're not supposed to know.
I'm just wondering.
Spoiler alert, Devon.
Well,
what secret areas? I mean, I have all the secret areas. You tell me what secret areas you have, so I can make sure that
have you played the cow level?
Totally. You're lying to me. There's no cow level.
It's a homage, dude.
Homage.
It's
a homage.
It's a homemade page of cows.
Nice.
No, yeah. They have multiple secret levels. Like, there's one that I've unlocked on my computer right here, but I haven't unlocked it on my computer on the inside or on the Xbox.
Do you know how you unlocked it?
No idea. There's secrets on the levels. I'm sure there's websites that have how you can unlock them, but I haven't gone looking because I just want to play through it myself for the first go through. And
right.
I mean, ultimately, it's just you keep replaying, and it's part of the levels are randomly generated, and you keep trying to push the higher levels until the new content comes out, and then I don't know. I mean, that's what it is.
That's cool.
Keep playing and pushing higher.
That's cool. It's a simple concept. It's a fun idea, and it's just a fun game to play through. So I'm pretty excited for it. And the DLC is going to be fun. All about the jungle. We get to go to the jungle. Dun dun dun. Coming in July.
So I was watching Devon stream last night because my wife was doing something else on the computer, and Logan was watching with me. And Logan plays a lot of Minecraft. He knows everything about Minecraft, right? He just does. So anytime Devon was like, "Hey, look at this little squirrel coming at me," and Logan's like, "I can't believe he doesn't know what the name of that thing is, Dad. Like, can I tell him what the name is?" It's like, it's okay. He doesn't play Minecraft like you do. It's okay if he doesn't know it. He's like, "Does he know he's gonna die right there? If he just missed that guy?" And I was like, "Logan, you cannot watch any more Twitch streams if this is how you're gonna act." He was like, he was going crazy, Devon. Like, he's like, why is he dying all the time?
Well, I only died because Steven goaded me into going to a higher level because I was playing on the recommended level by the game, and he's like, "It looks like you're not even trying," and it wasn't that hard, on the recommended level. So I boosted it up one level up, and I almost got killed all the way through the next level. And so, I mean,
it's crazy how that game like spikes in difficulty that fast.
Yeah,
and in different areas with different builds and stuff. I think it knows us. I think it's learning.
It must be.
Yeah.
So we also heard about another leaked game that is going to happen here. Mike, you read the last one, so maybe we'll let Devon take this last story.
You talking about Star Wars Project Maverick?
Yeah. Also, I mean, it's fitting because you're like the biggest Top Gun fan that I know.
And since I don't like Star Wars at all, Steven's gonna throw my only piece of information to Devon. It's cool.
What are you talking about? You talked about
Whatever.
Minecraft. You talked about all this.
No, it's fine. Whatever. Just pour salt in that wound. Just you go, Devon. You talk about it. You talk about it. Forget about the segue that I planned.
Hey, Devon, can you let Mike talk about this? I think he really wants to talk about Star Wars, man.
I would be interested to hear your take. Star Wars Maverick.
No, because you guys spoiled it already. Like, I had a cool intro. It was gonna be fun. It was gonna be very much like the Sega, but whatever. So you talk about it, Devon. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Not good segue then.
I don't want to talk about it.
I'll do Mike's segue for him. Hey, Devon, how many jets are there in the Air Force?
How many jets are in the galaxy? Do you know how many helmets are on Stormtroopers?
Well, that's an easy question. There's 0 jets in the galaxy.
Oh,
Thanks.
Oh snap! You don't know that.
Yeah.
No,
You've been
I'm pretty sure I
everywhere
do.
in the galaxy. This is a Mass Effect, right?
You haven't?
No, I like to stay here on Earth. Okay.
I would like to leave Earth.
Somebody talk about this story.
We don't want you to be upset and offended.
Go ahead. Go ahead. So this is Project Maverick. Project Maverick is coming out, and it is going to be about Tom Cruise and the Goose Man flying in. Yeah, the Goose Man. And they're going to be fighting a guy named Iceman. So it's all about elemental powers. So you got the Goose Man and the Iceman. Oh, Mega Man is a cool game that they should do something with. Wonder why they haven't. I like that game.
Focus, squirrel. Focus.
Megamins.
Yeah.
All right. EA might be preparing to reveal its next Star Wars game in June, according to Bloomberg and former Kotaku reporter Jason Schreier. My favorite reporter, as you come to know if you've been watching this show or listening to. So he's commented on a post published by EA Motive's new Twitter handle. While at Kotaku, Schreier broke the story that game studio EA Motive was working on a smaller, more unusual Star Wars project. Whatever that means. All about Ewoks, maybe. I don't know. Ewoks.
I mean, they had a whole movie about Ewoks. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't go well, right? But
they made 4 of them.
Yeah. Codename Project Maverick. The existence of Project Maverick seemed to be confirmed back in March when a listing for the game was leaked on the PlayStation Network. These networks that leak stuff, I tell you, we're grateful.
We're grateful for your leaks.
Yeah. It says, looks like someone's getting ready to announce a new game, Schreier wrote on Twitter above a message from Motive, announcing its new presence on the social media platform. Which is always, a key, easy way to tell, hey, we're about to start talking about stuff, so something's going to happen. Pay attention. It says, we're here. The Motive family is excited to be joining on social media platforms to share on who we are and the work we do. Really, we couldn't imagine a better time to start connecting with everyone online. Let's go. The teaser image for Project Maverick that leaked in March features a squadron of X-Wings zooming towards an Imperial Star Destroyer. This has led some to speculate that the new title is a spiritual successor, Rogue Squadron. Even, is wetting himself with excitement right now. Let's see here. Solid players pilot rebel fighters against the Imperial fleet. Many fans have been asking for a new Rogue Squadron title for many years. I enjoyed it on the Nintendo 64. I had the RAM pack, so I was good to go.
Did you get the new Starfighter?
What?
There was the hidden ship that you could fly in Rogue Squadron on the 64 was the Naboo Starfighter.
I don't know. I played it.
Not a true gamer.
Now, obviously, I'm not that big into Star Wars. I mean, I just waited in line at our movie theaters to go watch them. See here. So the last installment came out in 2003, and series developer Factor 5 closed its doors in 2009. We were always hoping for another Rogue Squadron until they, Nintendo shut them down. But this is what it is. Rebel Galaxy developer Double Damage famously pitched a Star Wars space shooter in the spirit of old X-Wing and Rogue Squadron games, but EA, like to do many other games that are good and worthy, they turn them down or just... Oh wait, no, that's 2K. That's a topic for...
Yeah, we decided not to talk about the 2K debacle, so...
But yeah, no, I mean, that's exciting. Mike, are you excited for the possibility of a new Star Wars game?
Yeah, totally. I played Rogue Squadron when it... I can't even speak tonight, man.
Rogue Squadron,
I played Rogue Squadron when Steve would let me, which was never. So I actually didn't play Rogue Squadron. Is this the what was the dude's name? Dash
Rendar? No.
Dash Rendar, is that him?
No.
That was what?
Dark Protocol or something.
No, it had to have been Rogue Squadron. Anyway,
Zone.
no, I'm excited for it. I like Star Wars. That's an okay world for me. I can be into it. I can fly around in an X-Wing and shoot stuff, or at least attempt to. So that'll be fun.
Fire was the name of the game with Dash Rendar. I just informing you. I mean, we brought it up. So
I know. I understand. Good story, man. Yeah. I don't have much on this. I did not play Rogue Squadron. I sound like Sean Connery.
Do that again?
Nope. One show a day. I'm excited. Sure, why not? Let's play games. I like it. I played Knights of the Old Republic. No, I didn't. I started.
Did you finish the most recent Star Wars game?
I thought that was Knights of the Old Republic.
There are a million Star Wars fans right now that just
cursing you, creating voodoo dolls and stabbing you.
Yeah, and they're like, we need to attack someone that spoke ill about Star Wars because that's how Star Wars fans do. All right, like I know. So,
what do you mean? Wow.
Okay, so I have stuff to say about that. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of ships in the galaxy. So Project Maverick is like a no-brainer after Battlefront 2. So the campaign for Battlefront 2, in my humble opinion, was not very good. It was supposed to be, hey, let's fight from the Imperial side, but like by spoiler alert, I don't know if there's any I know people hate spoilers, but this is
it's been out for a while.
It's been out for a while. But all of a sudden, our evil Imperial turns good by level 2. So it's the novelty of actually being a bad guy in this universe is just completely gone. Anyway, so that's neither here nor there. But the space combat in Battlefront 2 was amazing. The ships looked amazing. It's really easy to make awesome looking space battle because there's not a lot of assets that you have to build for. You do not have to build in a first person shooter where you have the ground, you have objects, you have all that stuff. It's just open space flying around and you throw in some asteroids and you call it good, right? So it looked amazing. It felt amazing and it played amazing. The starship combat in that game was great. It was perfect for all they would have to do is make some sort of DLC and make a Rogue Squadron DLC for that game. And it would have been perfect. It would have been awesome. It looks gorgeous. I don't know why they never did. Probably because of all the backlash that the game got when it first came out and the amount of years it took for them to finally bring it back around to where that everyone was okay with how Battlefront 2 was coming on. But having something set in the Rogue Squadron universe right now is probably going to feel like a breath of fresh air compared to all the Star Wars news we've been having since Rise of Skywalker. I think after that, everyone is just kind of done. Everyone is done talking about it. I mean, I guess, Star Wars Rebels, not Rebels, but the Clone Wars came out. That was really good by all accounts. Like the ending of that era was really good. So I think if, fans of that era like are fine, but this would be kind of like bringing back like, hey, Jedi Fallen Order was really good. Well, I mean, it got really good reviews. I'm not a huge fan of the game. I thought it did things, it could have done things a lot better story-wise. I thought it was pretty straightforward, pretty milquetoast. But Rogue Squadron, like the lineage of the books of Wedge Antilles and his squadron is vast. It's amazing. I mean, they threw all that stuff out, so I don't know how much of that they're going to have in here. But if Wedge Antilles is not in the game, then I guess I'll still play the game anyway because I'm flying around X-Wings. But I'm excited for this game. If it gives us the feeling of flying around in a bunch of X-Wings, shooting down TIE fighters, I don't know how you mess that up. Like, I'm sure someone can, but I don't know how you can mess that up. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
And I've bored Mike and Devon to speechlessness, so I'll just move on to the next one. So we got news today that Dragon Age Inquisition and I think Dragon Age 2 are available on Steam now. That is important for
9 games.
Yeah, there's 9 games, but Need for Speed's one, so who cares? I shouldn't say that.
Enjoy Need for Speed.
There are some really good Need for Speed games. Devin and I played Need for Speed Hot Pursuit on the 360 a lot. That game was a ton of fun. It had the right balance. I did not cheat. I did that legitimately.
You're a cheater. Don't lie.
It had the right balance of simulation versus arcade racing.
It did.
And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to play that game, right? I haven't really played any Need for Speed after that because that's when they were like, "Hey, let's make it a story," and you get out of the car, and now Aaron Paul is in the movie. Oh, and they made the movie that everyone wanted to forget about. So if you want to play Dragon Age on Steam, you can do that. And then you can wait for Dragon Age 4 in 2023 or something. So I think that's all the news that we have on this week. And I think that's fine because we do have a very long interview for the LegoManiacs that we will be playing after we do our stupid little game of What's in the Box. Are you guys ready for What's in the Box? Devin, that's like I need a confirmation.
Yeah, let me get the...
You can do it. Because I mean, it's because like the first time you look at these are like the day that we sit down to record.
Yeah, I looked at it yesterday.
No, that's fine. So we do a stupid game called What's in the Box where we have Michael look at the front cover of some box art from a bunch of different video games. And Michael gets to decide what type of game it's supposed to be. And depending on his guess, then we either laugh at him or make fun of him or impress that he actually pays way more attention than we think he does when we record these shows. So you might have to get rid of the... Oh, there you go. Put it in front of the that overlay, Devin. No, just put it in front of the overlay.
No, I didn't put it in the streaming software. I just have the image. I didn't put it into the...
Okay, that's all right. So, Michael, please describe for all of our audio listeners what you're looking at.
So we are looking at the cover of the Nintendo DS game Fossil Fighters. And on the front cover, we see 2 junior archaeologists digging in the ground. And behind them, we see an ominous, thunderous Tyrannosaurus Fire Rex with teeth bared and eyes yellow with fury as our junior archaeologists have disturbed his final resting ground. For they have uncovered his bones, and because they did not do it properly, the dinosaur has come to life and is now seeking to devour them. Armed only with their courage and their will to survive, our junior archaeologists must fight to the death the animal, which really is already dead for millions of years, actually. So they have to attack and defend themselves in order to find the fossils, collect the bones, and battle with dinosaurs.
All right, so what kind of game is it?
This is a top-down first not first person, a top down dig 'em up, fight 'em game.
Is that a new genre that was created? A dig 'em up game? Devin, have you ever played any other dig 'em up games that you're aware of?
I believe Digimon was the first dig 'em up game. Digimon, Digim up.
I see what you there. I see what you did there. You're gonna get all kinds of emails from all the Digimon fans that are like, "Oh, technically, Michael, you don't dig up Digimon. They're digital monsters." That's just what's. I'm afraid.
No, I understand. So this is definitely like a digging duel. Hey, I didn't see the back of the box.
You're not supposed
Oh
to
yeah,
Mic on mute.
It gives everything away.
I know. We know you were talking.
I chose.
So I was close. So this is like, okay, I see how it is. This is like a turn-based game.
So this is an interesting game because it's very Pokemon-like, where you collect fossils, and as you collect fossils, you get different types of dinosaurs that you can choose to fight with. The animation style is weird because it's kind of set up on a grid with 2D dinosaurs that face off, but when you select the attacks in 2D mode, it will do a 3D animation, and then it'll go back to 2D mode. So there's a lot of back and forth with this game, like what's going on. So it's very different. It's almost Pokemon-esque. So as I was doing research, because the Pokemon company makes or Game Freak makes Pokemon, and they're owned by Nintendo, but Nintendo actually published this game, which I thought was weird because this isn't a game that I had ever even heard of. I didn't know anything about Fossil Fighters, but there's a large following on the internet for people that want Fossil Fighters back. But just to give a brief overview of what it is, on the back of the box, it says, "Dig and Duel. Welcome to Vivosaur Island, where dinosaurs revived from ancient fossils fight in thrilling battles. In your adventures as a fossil fighter, you'll delve into ancient ruins, explore sunken pirate ships, and uncover secrets that will shake the planet to its core." I think it's interesting that the first thing that we decide to do once we're able to revive dinosaurs is make them fight each other to the death again. I mean, that's kind of like maybe we should do something different with the technology that we have. But it says, using DS wireless play, take on a friend within range of your system for head-to-head battles, or trade your extra fossils for new ones. Collect over 100 different Vivosaurs and pit them against the enemy in strategic turn-based battles. So I think this is just trying to catch another pie or figure out something different to do with Pokemon, because Pokemon has been dominant for so long that it's kind of ridiculous that no one has come back or come up with a different way to do Pokemon that is appealing to the masses. I know Temtem came out earlier on PC, but that didn't really have the same staying power as we thought it would. That came and that went very fast. I don't know if anyone's ever going to be able to top what Pokemon has done. I think Pokemon themselves could outdo themselves because they seem to be stuck in the same kind of way of thinking over and over again. They really haven't pushed that next evolution of what a Pokemon really can be, which I think a lot of us actually want it to be, instead of taking it from that little cutesy, this is what it is, to something a little bit more serious, a little bit more in depth. Because the thing about Pokemon, there are some really deep systems, but it's like one of those things where you kind of just have to know, okay, this is how I access this deep system, whether you're looking for shinies or you're, trying to max out the HM or whatever they call it in that game. So I don't know. I just think that this was an attempt to capture that, and it came and it went. It had its fans, and there you go. That's Fossil Fighters, where, what, every day on What's in the Box, we're gonna have Mike make fun of a box cover, and we're just going to kind of dive into what that game was and what its lineage was. Devin, is this a game that you even ever heard of or thought about playing?
No, never heard of it. I was watching gameplay. Yeah, I'm not big into Pokemon, so I played the card game when I was in school. Went to tournaments, that kind of stuff. And with that,
Pokemon tournaments, were you any good?
the subject.
Fair enough. What was your best Pokemon? What was your deck? What would you bust out when you went to a Pokemon tournament?
That's 20 years ago. I have no
many moons ago. He doesn't know. So with games like this, things that are being played on the 3DS, I never owned one. I think actually that's not true. I had one, but Steve always took it from me and played it because
I don't know.
that's just what he did. I'm just kidding. With the
And you're the
3DS,
most athletic. Couldn't you beat one up?
yeah, he had the mom card. So
Mom card.
yeah, so with the 3DS, because what did the 3DS boast? 2 screens, which hadn't been done on a handheld before.
So this was the
on
DS.
DS, which was the
Oh, that's what I
dual
mean.
screen.
The DS, the dual screen, right? Not the 3DS. So just the regular DS. So this was the first time a handheld had 2 screens. Yes.
Yep.
So and it's really tough. I think it's really tough for games like this on like a new technology console, because I kind of have the same issues with like the Wii or the Kinect, or what was PlayStation's version of the Wii?
PlayStation.
I
Ocean, was it something like that?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
No? Okay. Well, so the thing,
wands with colored balls.
Yeah.
In them.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
What?
this PlayStation VR.
No, they adapted
no.
those to use with the.
Yeah, this one it was like the Wiimote with the ball on top. That anyway. So I think the problem is with things like that, when you put out a game that tries to fit like I don't want to say gimmicky technology, but a newish technology in that essence. Like, all right, guys, we have 2 screens to work with now. We have to make our game fit that, if that makes any sense. So I think it can be tough when you're coming out with stuff, because then not only are you designing a game and building a game, it's, well, what goes on the top screen, what goes on the bottom screen, and how does that work in the interactiveness, switching between 2D and then the 3D animations and stuff. I find it really hard. Like the Wii was cool. You had motion, but how long could you actually stand there and play golf, right? How long can you actually stand there and go bowling? It just seems, and along with the Kinect, like the Kinect was fun when you had your friends over or the kids over for a sleep. You had enough space. So I think it's really challenging to find that really, okay, what type of game works best on the DS? Because I don't think that any game can work well on the DS. You can't do a side scroller on a DS, because what do you put on the top? This is where Steve drops some knowledge.
I will disagree with you.
RPG stuff.
I think.
Well, yeah, but you can't do like Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, you can. I think.
Oh, well, fine.
Yeah, I just did it. See, I just did it. I think the DS is a fantastic system that had a lot of really good ideas. I think of games like World Ends With You that they really utilize the top screen and the bottom screen, having gameplay on the top and the bottom at the same time. It was really hectic. It was tough to master, but it was probably one of the best uses of that screen. Like all the Legend of Zeldas on the DS, that would be Phantom Hourglass and that would be Spirit Tracks. They made really good use of having the map open all the time and your inventory open all the time at the bottom. So you never really had to like push buttons and stop the action to get to your inventory. So those were great uses for that. I really enjoy.
So I'm going to stop you there and say, I mean, that was a great utility, but that.
And that's what that second screen was for. It wasn't for all the gameplay.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like that was like, okay, we have this second screen. What do we put on it? Oh, let's put the map on there. Like.
I mean, that's why they
so
switched
for
from
me,
2 down to just 1 on the Switch, right?
Well, and see, and I think that kind of tells that the 2 screens didn't work.
I disagree.
I mean,
because if it did, wouldn't it still be
motion controls or any of those things? And it worked for the time, and it was used as best as they could. And I thought it was great not having to go into my inventory things, or you could bring the map up like in a Zelda game or whatever else, because it was always annoying, having to go in. I can't do it like Diablo or the games where you can just see the map all the time. Playing.
I mean, I wish I had 4 PC monitors right now. So I say like the more monitors, the better. So and basically it was like 2 monitors
I agree with you, but I think because it's not there on the Switch and handhelds beyond that, I mean, they abandoned it for some reason, right?
The DS is one of the best-selling handhelds ever. I think
That's fine, and I'm okay with that. I'm just saying, if it was so good, like we all thought the DeLorean was awesome also, but we don't see those on the road anymore. Everybody
all the
thought
time.
that.
What are you talking about?
Everybody thought the DeLorean was awesome. Everybody wanted 6.68 gigawatts.
I mean, the DS Lite is probably the best form factor Nintendo ever made in a handheld. Like that thing was so sleek and perfect. Yeah, I really like the DS. So everything you're saying is wrong, and I hate it. And now I hate it.
Oh, and now you hate me?
Yep. In fact, I didn't listen to anything you were saying there.
It happens.
Conversation. Okay.
I understand.
So, Michael, thank you for participating in What's in the Box. I think these are fun conversations. And you know what? Like, I understand. Like, there are lots of games on the Switch that don't require a second screen to be awesome. So, I think it's very much an aesthetic, like a personal thing. Like, I really like the double screens. Like, just because you don't doesn't mean that you're a crazy. Well, maybe it means you're a crazy person. So, I really enjoyed the DS, and I wish they would make. What if they come out with the DS Micro? And instead of
too small,
instead of having one and 1.15 inch screen, there's two 1.15 inch screens, and it folds like this, and then you could play it like this. Buy it day one. All right,
you have to play it with toothpicks.
We are now going to play the interview that we had with the LegoManiacs. We got to talk to Bango, Knight, David, and Dat. Dat is from Europe, so it was really late for him. So we were appreciative that we got to talk to him early in the day. So sit back, enjoy the interview. It's about an hour long. We get to talk about how their community got started, why their community continues to thrive, and what they have plans for in the future. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this interview with LegoManiacs. A minute. I'd like to welcome everybody to a special interview with the LegoManiacs. The LegoManiacs is a group of high-level Anthem players that have been grinding Anthem since the very beginning and will continue to do so. With us on the line here, joining Mike and I, we have Knight the Shield. Knight, how are you doing today?
How's it going? I'm doing pretty good.
Good. We have I Am Bongo. Bango or Bongo? For some reason I read it as Bongo.
Whatever you feel right now, but if you put Bongo, it's fine. But it is Bango.
All right, we're here with I Am Bango. We're here with Bango. How are you doing today?
Man, excellent. Super excited. Love surprises, and this is gonna be exciting.
This is going to be a surprise, that's for sure. We're here with David. David, you have a fancy hat. I'm jealous of your hat.
Thank you.
And we have
it's a good one.
Good. And we have Dat Reliable Guy joining us. And right now, Dat, you're joining us at a weird time because you're across the pond, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah. I just float around between the whole community, trying to bring the whole community together. Pretty much, but it's an exciting time to be part of this podcast with everybody.
Well, we really appreciate the four of you coming on. So one thing we want to do first, I need to get the story of LegoManiacs. And I Am Bango, you are going to give us a quick rundown. Then I want to hear everyone's story, how you came together. Because I think the great thing about video games is their ability to form communities, right? There's a lot of things in the world that divide us and want to keep us apart. But video games seem to always be able to bring us together and help us, just form these friendships and these bonds that, it's not possible otherwise. So, Bango, will you kind of give us a rundown of who you are, how you got started? Because if I'm not mistaken, this is also the first video game that you've played.
Oh, absolutely. And with that being said, Steve, is because of this whole pandemic thing, I think it's gotten a lot of people close because you can't go outside, and you can't go out and have a drink and drive and possibly get a DUI. Well, you're in LegoManiacs, and we do have a thing called Happy Hour. So yes, that is true. I think LegoManiac has become something for me that I didn't expect it. And how everything started, I'm not gonna go ahead and bore you because this is 2 hours, I'll give you 2 hours, but I'm gonna give you real quick. So yeah, LegoManiac, how it came to me. So I met amazing people on LegoManiacs throughout this journey. It's kind of like I call it like a town, and in the town, there's hitchhikers. They stay or they come up and they keep walking. So with us, they stay. We had to train them. We got Anthem University. We got that. We got David. Everybody here has their own personalities and their own abilities. So yeah, for me, this is the first time I've ever played a game. I was sitting on my TV on my couch, and I saw this Anthem for what looked like Mech Warriors because I like that Mech Warrior look. And next thing you know, I'm at Best Buy, and I just got a computer. Check this out, right? So I go to Best Buy, and I'm really stupid about it. And in my world, I'm a content creator. I work for celebrities. I do events, so forth. I edit and so forth, and I create content for a lot of people. So didn't know anything about gaming, so I did. I told my buddy, "Hey, you gotta build me a nice computer." Boom, he came over here, built the computer. I saw COD. I go, "What is this COD?" He goes, "Call of Duty." I go, "Oh, perfect." Downloaded it, played it. I kept dying. I said, "This is boring, bro." So I even tried to change my avatar into a female. I figured if I got off the helicopter and they could shoot me, I mean, they could see me as a female. Maybe they could just say, "Hey," because when you're playing for the first time and you're playing a game you've never played in your life, I figured, well, maybe they'll respect me because I'm playing worldwide. If I was a female, nope. I got off the helicopter, died. I saw
Welcome to
Anthem
the internet.
on television. Yeah, I saw Anthem on television. I go, I gotta get this game. Ran over to Best Buy, paid $70, whatever it was. I got the CD, which is a cover, and I'm old school. I'm like the oldest guy in here, but I'm like half a century old, right? So I open the CD, the DVD, and I go, man, what the hell is going on here? And I open up the paper and everything, and there's no CD, CD, right, to install in my CD-ROM. I called Best Buy and told them all. Yeah, yeah. And they go, well, hold on, Mr. Bango, there's a code there. You down? So well, finally went through all that stuff, but I apologize, but I didn't realize now you can download games. In my times, you put a CD-ROM in, and boom, you're good to go, right? So at the end of the day, that's how everything started with that. And then I installed Anthem, started playing, and I go, my God, this is awesome, so good, and the whole effect and everything. And then boom, I started making friends, but talking through push to talk. So I met this one guy, his name is Tickle Monster, and he got me into the game. So, and Tickle Monster says, "Hey, Bango, come with me if you want to live." And I said, "Okay." So he invited me to Discord. I had no idea I could do Adobe, but I can't do Discord. So I got lost in there. I go, yeah, I can't. So finally, when he got me into Discord, I was in a community, and I'm not gonna say their name, but yeah, I started that community. And as far as Discord, I had no idea that there was such an amazing tool to meet people. And since I'm a people person, anyways, in life, because I recruit people for whatever movie or whatever it is, that's my personality. And I think that David and that could tell you all that. So long story short, I entered that one Discord, and that's how this Lego Mania came to be. Why? Because that Discord, even though I brought people in, I said, guys, you got to come meet my friends. We all played. It grew, and then started the whole thing of the Game of Thrones. I'm better than you are. You're better. And I said, that's not why I came to Discord. I came here to play. I got my own business. So if we're gonna have fun here, we're gonna have fun. I don't care about all the. So long story short, I met these people. That I met Sikacha. I met Glacier, he's the one that helped me set up Lego Maniac. And why did I do that? Because they got rid of someone that I thought it was really poor, and it's kind of like I didn't understand it because the way my personality is, and they got rid of someone without slapping him on the wrist first, and then next thing I go, hey Glacier, I have no idea how to work Discord. Can you please dress up for me? First started 4 people, 5 people, and now we have 281 people that are, in and out. So it wasn't like 1,000 something people that are not playing. No, they were consistently playing. And that's how Lego Maniac came to be. And we created a community of just having fun. And if there's drama, you got to get out. Take your thumb and get it. And then now I have these amazing characters. Look at this cowboy in front of me. He's just amazing. He loves people as well. Yeah, that is just completely over the top. Knight Rider came also. By the time you knew it, we had different types of rooms, and that's how Lego Maniac came to be. And then other discords were coming in just to see how heck we did it. Why were we top lead, on the scores? Me, I don't care. I was Greg Cross. What does that mean? My storm, I watched all my people. I primed them. I either got yelled at or didn't get yelled at. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, well,
So that's how everything came to be. And then David came and
down when you need a res, he's down there going, look, I want you to sit here and think about what you did while everybody
somebody was like, the whole thing about shut up and respawn. God, I would sit there and go, listen, you're gonna sit there and think about what you did wrong, you know, and now get up, So that's why when you guys came to me with the whole shut up and respawn, I thought that was like,
Perfect.
godsend.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that's
So
been kind of
all me.
that's been
Go
kind
ahead,
of our motto, to shut up and respawn and get back in the game from our Destiny days. I mean, that's pretty impressive. That, I mean, you don't hear a lot of stories about people picking up. I'm not saying you're older in age, right? I wouldn't ever insinuate that, but people, you don't hear a lot about people picking up video games later in life, and so it's a cool story to hear that you did that. You were able to get that. I mean, most computers don't even come with CD trays anymore. But little things that we're going to learn. So it's impressive that you guys have come together. And Knight, how did you come into the LegoManiacs fold, I guess?
That just came in pretty recently. The cool thing about Anthem that I've noticed that there's so many communities out there that's successful and active, and I honestly didn't know about LegoMania until that invited me a few weeks ago. And like I jumped in, and like again, I've been in a few communities, but first thing that popped off was just like the activeness of it. Like it's just comments, people talking, grouping it, like successfully grouping too. Like so, I've been there for a little bit, but like already, like I said, it's been great. They invited me with open arms, and they got an event going on, and it's been a different kind of feel as far as the community, and it's been fun.
Cool. And Knight, I've been seeing you on the Reddit. I've been seeing you on speedrun.com. You're kind of taking a hey, instead of pushing the leaderboards right now, you're pushing the speedruns pretty hard. Have you speed ran other games, or is Anthem kind of the first one you've kind of pushed for with speedrunning?
Uh, so actually, this is probably my first game that I've actually was like, you know what, let's start doing the speed run thing.
Okay.
And growing up, it was like, leaderboards the way it is. Some people like it, some people don't. There's a whole disparity of unfairness or whatever, which is okay. But it's recycled content now, so a lot of people, they're getting tired of doing the same thing over and over again. And we was talking in the Discord, and I was like, "Hey, we can start speedrunning." Like, that's not cool, whatever. But then we found there was a site where you had to upload your video and all that, and it was like, okay, new challenge, new grind. Because like the speedrun versus like leaderboard run is completely different, of how you can run it, and it's a lot quicker, so you can get more runs in. And like I said, we got a few other teams that was doing it, and we started competing, and it was just took off. It was fun.
Yeah, and from the times that I'm seeing that you guys have on speedrun.com, you're completing GM3 strongholds in under 6 minutes for the most part.
Yeah, most of them. I think the longest one right now is Retire Mine at like 9 minutes. But the rest is relatively fast. I think right now the fastest is Sunken Sail at 7, but then Simple Star and Heart Rage are both almost under 5:30. Um, so and it's only getting faster. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, and that's
Something
super
shouldn't be hard
impressive.
to push it.
Go ahead, Dat. Say that
Something
again.
shouldn't be, yeah, something shouldn't be too hard to push it under 7 minutes on the current minute, depending on the build type that you go with teams. When it comes to speed runs and high scores, two different mind frames that you have to go in with. Because it's not just about the teams, it's about your javelin builds and making sure you cooperate with the teams, because you just need to kill everything quick. But at the same time, you need to be precise with the team, because if one thing goes wrong, it's just like the whole run's gone down. Whilst when you go into a high score run, you can actually salvage a high score run, because you can just come back and be like, okay, just maybe push that one more grind or that one more farm in order to do it later on, and that could just give you that difference. So with the speed runs, it's just much more quicker compared to like staying in a high score run, which can end up taking you hours and hours just to try and get that score from falsifying leads to just it's just different. That's what I can say.
Yeah. So Dat, from all the time that you guys have been playing and you've been doing these speed runs, I mean, can you guys say that there's a definitive best javelin in Anthem with that playing at the level that you guys are?
There are perks to all javelins. That's what I gotta say. It comes dependent on your playstyle. So when it comes to speedruns, you ideally need a strong team. It can be between rangers and it can be between classes, but it all comes down to the components that you have. And to even grind out the components is respect to all the players out there, because to actually get the specific roles that you require for that build, it takes dedication and time in order to grind it out. So let's say for classes, it's great to have it because there's one component out there for your ultimate. So if you're going into speed run and then there are a lot of mobs forming, going into your ultimate, but if you kill 5 enemies with one ulti shot, it refills 30% of it. So what more or less what that means is you just get another ulti shot altogether. So having that clears off mobs a lot more quicker. But then you've got a ranger as well. So if you fired off all the rockets there, you can get multiple of enemies, and then using, let's say, the Vassal Surprise, and then you've got the last arguments as well as the melee, you can literally build back your ultimate within like 3 to 4 seconds, and then you can just fire off the ulti again. Again, Knight, if you want to elaborate a bit more into that, what would you say?
Yeah, so my take is, I get them to do a good job of making it to where team synergy is very important. Like, you can watch like one of my speed runs and we have like 1 Colossus, 2 Rangers, and a Storm, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the best set for like another set of players based off, their skill and their use of the javelin. Like I said, there's some people that prefer like the interceptor for speed and this and that. And it goes back between time to kill versus speed, and at the end of the day, it really just comes down to team synergy and utilizing what you're best at. Because really, you could make a team almost out of anything. But certain things like, for instance, if you run 4 storms, your clear time is going to be crazy on events, but your boss kill is going to suffer. So then you got to balance. Am I killing fast enough in the events to up the time I'm losing on boss? And then that's where you start to play around with. Okay, maybe I need a 1 ranger because he has 6 double ults, and he can just take care of himself. And so, but as far as best, it's hard to say. Now, best balance, I would say hands down it's Colossus, just because it almost has no flaws the way it's built. I think it's a bit overpowered, to be honest. And then, because the way I'll break it down is would be Colossus, Ranger, Storm, Interceptor, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, that's my take on it.
So, David, what is your list of javelins? I mean, is Interceptor at the bottom for you also?
No, I'm actually an Interceptor main.
So you're Interceptor, Speedy Boy all the way.
Speedy Boy all the way. When I first started playing, I was an Interceptor. I believe at some point it may have gotten nerfed or something. I couldn't use it, so I went to a Storm, and then I got a Ranger. I had a pretty good Ranger, and then the Interceptor came back with fierceness. So I started playing with an Interceptor, grabbing up a little bit of armor. As I got to where my melee was higher with the Death Stalker blades and whatnot, I started taking off the armor and had more melee damage. And here we are today with top tier Death Stalker blades and pretty high ultimate damage. The ultimate is almost inconsequential in that game as far as an Interceptor goes. You have to have pretty high ultimate to get anything out of it, especially a survival tool if you don't have a lot of ultimate inscriptions on there. And I've got several components that have double roll ultimate inscriptions on it, so that helped a lot. I actually did that last night, and my melee went up because I applied all damage with the ultimate inscription, so it kept my melee up, being that I was taking away melee to add the ultimate inscription. So I actually created a better balanced build, and my survival went up, the kill rate is higher. My ultimate is doing probably about 250% more damage. So Fast Boy is the way I go.
I wish you guys could hang out and launch with us. What are you guys wearing? What's your stats? Change to this, change to that. 20 freaking minutes before we go get the millions. It's pretty interesting.
I'm training a guy right now because he just started playing with an Interceptor, and I kind of gave him a rundown on how to build it to start with, and he was pretty low. And within about 3 or 4 days, he's gotten to where he can keep up pretty good now, and he's not dying so much. And now he's loving it. That's KFS, Bango.
Oh yeah, Anthem University. Hey, look,
Yeah.
a quick commercial break. I don't know if you can see it or not. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
What does it say? What does it say?
We've got Command the Storm, become a freelancer. So that is artwork from Lazarus, I believe.
Right.
Is that
I
right?
got this from one of our players that I first started playing with her. She's from Germany, Sakata. And during the holidays, we were doing Christmas exchange, and she got me that. Which was pretty cool because that's all I've ever played. I think that my Colossus was broken, so I wish I could talk to BioWare about that because it's too slow.
We send each other stuff all the time. There's a guy named Lifer in our Discord. Great guy. He's 63.
Tired.
And
Yeah, since the eyesight event
we're
came
all
around,
friends. I talk to him on a daily basis. I mean, it's a great place to be.
since the eyesight event came around, it showed the meta for storms. Like if you had a full party of 4 storms and you had the right version, you could literally go thrash through all the mobs and everything else, including the boss. Some could prove that at one point um, when you ended up getting to the boss in the Sunken Fury, it's very easy to take down with the storm with the right versions. Um, But with that, gaining like 25 million score from that, it was just brilliant. It's just like that was the meta. That was the meta to farm the brutes, for instance. You can just one shot the brutes. And having 4 storms, you just rush through the whole content.
Yeah. So, as high level players, and you guys, you're saying that you're training new people. It's like, what's the one thing that you constantly have to tell new players that are coming to Anthem? Because we know that there's been an influx of players when Anthem went on sale. A lot of people jumped into the game. So, what's that thing that you're like constantly telling them? Hey, stop stacking this inscription. I mean, what's that advice you give to a new player that's just jumping in?
Mainly, the advice I give them are the component sets. Let's say for an interceptor, depending on what you want to go for an interceptor, do you want to just run around melee people, or do you really want to be that OP person just going in, just wrecking through the bosses, wrecking through the Valkyries that are annoying to take down, and the hunters as well. Um, it's just finding the right component. So, for instance, all universal slots on a interceptor with multi damage will just literally rinse through everything, and then if you have your venom spray as well, just bringing back your ultimate as quickly as possible. That's why you call it ulti build. Otherwise, you can stack up all mixture of between ultimate and melee damage to give you enough melee damage in order to kill things quicker. And it's usually the poison melee to go for to get the best DPS out of it. For rangers, there's always the 2 builds. You got your ulti build. Again, you have 6 components are going to be ulti, and then you got the 1 component that's going to be what was it called again?
Badge of Devastation, I think.
Yeah, Badge of Devastation.
That's your ultimate.
With that one, that's your ultimate. But if you're going with, let's say, a combo ranger, you want to stack as much combo.
Combo impact damage.
Yeah, so combo impact damage. You just want to really, really stack up on combo impact damage with tip of the spear. So anytime that you do designate a combo, you can get up to about 1.2 million in a combo damage. So you can literally just push the sky's the limit when it comes to getting the right rolls. Storms, you really what you need to do is build upon the javelin wide damage, and then equip yourself a binary star with a steam vent, and then you just shred through the whole content with literally nothing at all, just one shot killing. And then I'll let Knight tell you, because his favorite javelin is the Colossus, what you should go for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the class I think has the most, I guess, flexibility because it has, I would say, 3 main builds that are very successful on GM3. And we get the bosses are Meteor Smash, Timer Dome, and Earthshaker, and you have Venom Storm with either Meteor Mash or Earthshaker. All 3 works extremely well. Everybody has their preference on which is better, but it also comes down to the playstyle. Bosses give you that mid range, so it allows you to prime with a close range, and then you can jump around and just detonate everything. I think it's a little bit more flexible for our speed because if you use the melee, if you jump melee, it actually covers a lot of distance extremely fast. So it makes up for a little bit of the speed of being slow in the Colossus. And then when you go to the Dome, you freeze, break combo, rinse repeat, which is extremely strong because it's a CC in a sense. So, if you're freezing the opponent, you're not taking damage. So for me, it's one of the best starter builds because you really can't go wrong with it. And then of course Venom Storm that a lot of people love. Um, I have my own opinions about it. It's a very good build. It's just the rockets to me is just so inaccurate, but extremely powerful. Yeah, combo blast and everything. If it hits anything, it melts everything. So, and then of course off that, some people like to run more ultimate damage for when they do break the ulti for because the problem with bosses is if you run it all combo blast, you're pretty much useless on the boss. So some people like to run ultimate because you'll still have good crowd control even without stacking combo blast. So again, Claw's got a lot of flexibility, and there's so many different ways you can really build it.
And as we talk about builds for Anthem, one thing that I've always complained about the game is that it's tough to put together builds quickly, right? I mean, in order to get the inscriptions with the double stacking, all the things that you want, it's very random and it takes a while. And you have to run a lot of strongholds. You have to run a lot of cataclysm. And doing that, is do you all think that there's a better way for when 2.0 comes out that they can kind of change that system? Do you guys like the inscription systems on the weapons, or do you think there's some tweaks that BioWare should be taking into account for 2.0?
There definitely needs to be some tweaks. Like, let's say Force, for instance. I've run a build around Force. Literally, let's take shotgun for instance. If you shotgun something, it'll literally fly off, bounce off a wall, an enemy will just bouncing back and forth. It's just ridiculous force, but it's not needed. There are so many roles that are not needed that they really need to take out. But with that as well, they should really compensate on letting us re-roll certain ones. So even if it's just a one-time roll, it'll at least guarantee that roll. Let's say if it was Force, for instance, we can re-roll it to something else. Fair enough, it may be still bad, but it may not be as bad as the Force.
Yeah.
So you take your chance with it. It comes down to the components are great. So you've got something like Token of Endurance. Most people don't take into account the effects of it for its storm components. But when your shield breaks, you instantly refill all your abilities. So your Qs and E's instantly refill. So you can literally use off all your E's and Qs. And if you're around in enemies and they shut all your shield down, it's instantly back. You can keep going area and it just does not slow down. It's really trying to figure out what these do in order to go for a build. And this wasn't clearly explained when you first started off the game. So when you had these GM levels that were literally 3-hour grinds and 4, 5, 6-hour grinds just to take down this one Titan, that GM grind was more orientated, I guess, in their eyes at that time for these roles. Now that we have these roles, when we go into GM, it's just like a walk in the park, for instance. So it's difficult to adjust a bit more.
Yep.
That or
I agree.
I mean, and also like I don't know. I guess this is stuff for 2.0, but hopefully they'll add more difficulty levels. But there's one thing that has kind of bugged me since from the community a little bit. So when the Cataclysm started, we got the leaderboards. There was this discourse, and I wanted to get y'all's opinion on this. That if you're glitching through barriers, you're cheating, right? If you're doing this way, because I'm not doing it that way, so then your run doesn't count. I mean, has that been something that has bugged you all? Because I imagine that you're playing at a high level, that you're trying to min-max everything as much as possible. So if you can clip through a wall, you can clip through a wall. I mean, is that something that you guys have talked about? Like, hey, we're going to do runs where we don't clip or we don't exploit, this little frame here. Or how did you guys manage that? Because there's always, I mean, and this is for every game, right? It's not just for Anthem. If you don't play it the way I played it, then your run doesn't count, right?
Well, we've talked about it in our Discord. I prefer just doing straight through runs myself. guilty of doing it the other way a few times, but at the same time, I don't know if you classify it as cheating. It's not the exact way it was intended to play, so it may be classified that way by somebody else. But at the same time, I would prefer to do straight through runs. But it has been talked about, but I couldn't give crap about it, either way. If people want to do it, they want to do it, get on the leaderboard, let them, no big deal. But it's still, to me, not a normal run. Farming, do that all you want. That's fine. That's within the the barriers that they set within the game. If you can do it, more power to you.
Even with farming, back when Vara was there in the first Cataclysm, they even stopped the farming to encounter, so because that was not intended either to farm Vara with the ads. So what ends up happening is once you nerf one thing where people can't gain that score, other people look for other means in order to do things. So this is where you're playing cat and mouse with the whole game and everything else. So if you can't do this, what other things can you do? What is somebody else doing that we don't know? And then this is where it came to turret farming, for instance, in the Cataclysm, where turrets can respawn and then you can just farm them as well, because you could not farm as long as you could on Vara, so people look for alternative means, and then it keeps going, and that's where, let's say, clipping only came out of bounds is when Season of the Ice Tide came, when it came to locking the golden orbs behind the walls. That was the worst mistake that you can do. So where you had your multipliers behind another stage, that forced a lot of players to try and look for out of bounds in order to see how they can collect these to get a high score. So if they did not do that, but they did it in a different way where it elaborated, like let's say a secret passageway in order to take you there before you can do all these events or anything else, it would have been great. So they could have put a bit more creativity around that. But when you're going on to runs, let's say on the Cataclysm, and you were doing it as an exploit, it doesn't matter, regardless whether you're doing an exploit run or whether they were clipping out of bounds or clipping outside the walls, or whether you were doing legitimate runs. The teams that will always be at the top would be the teams that are the most coordinated with the right roles.
Mhm.
Yeah. And like
that's
Knight,
definitely
for instance, Knight, what would you say? Because you've experienced that, and I've had backlash from YouTubers as well about it.
Yeah, so I mean, I think there's different levels to it. So you look at Cataclysm, overall was designed really well. There wasn't too many big exploits, just like you said, like tight, like farming turrets and stuff. But that was like min max, and that's like I'm trying to get that extra 100,000 to pass this guy. Like that was small. Now when we got the Ice Tide, like I was telling people the other day, you could tell that that content wasn't designed for leaderboard style due to all the loopholes and holes and just how it was designed. But between a straight run and then I said the beginning exploit runs where you have somebody go outside the map and they can collect on the orbs, that was okay just because it changed up how you ran the whole entire thing. Then the multipliers early changed the way you kill the Valkyrie before you in the event. It changed how you ran the whole thing. But the global timer still went, so you still had a race against time. You still had to be fast, you still had to be efficient. My only problem was when people started to figure out how to get out of the map without starting the global timer, collecting everything, and then just walking through and beating everybody because the global timer didn't start to 10 minutes after they had everything. But then it takes away a lot of the competition, and what's the whole point of being fast if I can get everything before I start the global timer? So
Yeah.
it's like, and that's where you start seeing those crazy scores, basically something sell, heart rage where people get 20, even 30 million, scores. It's like at that point, it's not really a skill anymore. You just do the same thing for like an hour or two, and then boom, I win. Like so, like I said, the beginning one was okay. I feel like when you get the orange, you still had to race, you still had to get the global timer. And what most people didn't realize is that if you got all the global multipliers ahead of time, there's a cap on the event. So after you got a times 13, you don't get any extra scores. Then you had to start factoring in. Okay, after we get times 13, we gotta kill the Valkyrie before. So it changed up how you did it. So it was almost a different run almost. But then after that, like once it got bad, I can understand people feel feel like it's unfair or cases, but at the same time, a lot of stuff wasn't like hitting. Those people putting this information out, and if you just choose to use it, fine. If you don't use it. Simple as that. I mean, you're still getting your crystals at the end of the day. It's fine.
So you guys said that the teams that do the best are the ones that are well coordinated and have that synergy and can work together. So I'm curious,
Synchronized.
where did that come from in you guys? How does an eclectic group like you guys come together? Do you practice on your individual builds by yourselves and then meet up? Like, is there some pressure between you guys? That okay, when you come to tonight's session, you better have X, Y, and Z ready to go, or we're gonna rib you during lunch and tell you that I mean, So how does that work? Tell us, run us through that. How does that?
I don't
No,
So-
we don't do the pressure thing because
Yeah.
we try to keep it fun. Discord, and I think that's one of the reasons that it's lasted as long as it has. And it's done so well. There are
So-
people in our Discord that are more powerful than others. That is one of them. He's one of our beast mode players. And in my opinion, I'm just an average player. I might play above average to most people, but I don't know if I do or not. I just play to have fun. I like the game, regardless of what state it's in or where it's going. I'll be here for the second run of it too. But I do practice on my own to see if I'm doing better with a certain build. I'll change components and then make a couple of runs, and we all trade information back and forth and see what we've done, see if we can do better. And it's just it's kind of come with that like that.
So what would be interesting is, so Knight the Shield, he plays on console on Xbox. So for him to build up his team, it, uh, it'd be very interesting because it's different because you don't have the keyboard and mouse utility. So how do you synchronize your team? Knight?
So, especially on my team now, like I like to keep a small circle when I'm doing like what's the word for like leaderboards and speed runs. The main reason is because of synergy and stuff. Like even if you switch out one person, it changes the synergy of the game and the knowledge of whatever you're doing. So, where I like to start off with like three phases. Phase one is just run it, right? Get familiarized, learn the spawns, learn this, learn that. And then normally what I do, like I like math, I like numbers, is I record it, and then before we do our next run, I'll be writing down split times, like points here, or all these other things. And I bring all the information back to the team, and then we'll coordinate and go forward. Most of the time, I have like a plan in my head, and I'm like, okay, I kind of want Rangers hold your ult. I want you to use it here or here. But then sometimes, we'll be running and they'll see stuff and they'll be like, well, maybe we should do this. And I'm like, okay, let's give that a try. And we keep everything open, kind of keep everything loose because, like, just like you say, like, you don't want pressure because that's just gonna make everybody get frustrated and then you're not gonna perform at your best anyway. So, and I like to kind of keep like a time limit too. We get on maybe 2-3 hours and we cut it no matter what. Then we'll hit it back another day. And I'm also very picky. I have a very set. Like I always run one Colossus and two Rangers. Almost everything I do, just the way I kind of build my team around me. And then my fourth spot is normally Flex. Uh, Normally it's Colossus. Sometimes it's a Storm, and once in a while maybe an Interceptor. So that's how I put mine. Because I'm so confident in my abilities to clear as a Colossus and with my ultimate that I like having two Rangers. Because like I said, if I'm clearing, all they gotta focus is dropping ultis. You don't gotta worry about killing ass, just drop an ulti. You don't have an ulti, build an ulti. You have an
So
ulti.
with yeah,
Hey,
so
Mike.
with us, how we started off back in the Cataclysm, I had a teammate called Bomb Boom 2. Who, the whole LegoMania community is familiar with her or him. We still don't know. We
We don't know.
believe it's an AI. Maybe.
It's an AI, artificial intelligence, and
So with us,
a computer chip or something.
the person never used to speak over mic, so we always
Yeah.
had the in-game button where it's just like, "Have you got this?" And they'd be using the B button to communicate, saying it's okay. But since we've played so long together, me and her, uh, like literally, if she does something, I can instantly know what I need to do because we've formed up so strong, like the bond was so strong between us. We used to have like little arguments here and there, but between that, um, we were actually the first team because in the first Cataclysm we were always in the top 5. We used to get to the number 1 spot, but the next, let's say, half an hour, we used to get broken down. By the time we came around to the second cataclysm, different teams were forming. We were trying to disengage them where we didn't need to, let's say, come back and babysit other people in order to do anything. But we were still teaching other people, but we were still getting towards the top. And then it came to the last few weeks of the second cataclysm. That it was the first time ever in the Anthem community that me and her formed and teamed together with another team. So it's something that nobody ever does. It's like go to an enemy side or something like that, as you would say. But we actually
Well, they
formed
came to
that.
our side.
No, we
Yeah.
involved them into everything that we could do. So
Yeah.
we wanted to see what we can do because they weren't playing for a time, and then there was other people going in at it as well. So what we
Yeah.
wanted to do was, okay, look, we've got 2 slots free, and then we got Jaros Vengeance involved as well as Skyraptor. And
Yeah.
they came in, and then we literally went for the next couple of weeks on number 1 spots as well. So that was amazing. It's because we had 2 teams from 2 different backgrounds actually forming in together. And then came into the season of the Ice Tide where Grey Phoenix, you'll know him around the Reddit, and he's put many Reddit posts out about Storm builds as well as exposing the whole cataclysm regarding towards how to do each level and how to farm Bora. He's exposed it to that degree that everybody would know how the cataclysm would work. When the season of Ice Ride came around, it's completely different. Everybody had an open play and everybody was communicating. Whether there was a clip out of the wall or anything else, everybody was communicating. And Grey Phoenix got involved, then we had JRS involved, then we had Bombo. We had a huge team of uh, people forming in to do high scores, whether we did it by getting out of bounds or whether people did it legitimately. We still can gain them scores because we formed that team and we formed that bond that we had such a blast and laugh during the season of Ice Tide. But when the content died out slowly, there was really not much of a drive. So when it came to certain weekends, Sunken Cell came in, the highest score that was possible, well, crystals that you can get was 25,000 crystals. Once you hit 25,000, so 25 mil, and then after that, any crystals that you do get, you can't get more than 25,000. So that was the limit. So we used to push not just the high score, but we wanted to see what the limit for the crystals would be. Once we achieved that, I think that's when we started to ease down from, let's say, pushing the leaderboards any higher than where it can be. And then came down like a little downpour, and then we got involved into speedrunning because that was completely different. That really, really got us back in into the competitive mode because it takes a lot of different, making up for it, different plans in order to do each room. So each room had the different phases, and each person was responsible for it. Rather than our team like how Knight revolves around him, our team revolves around each individual has their own individual thing to do. So if somebody's clearing out ads, we're just cleaning out that little 1 or 2 things, and then we're prepping up for the next room, and then we're just constantly communicating between each other. So it's a very hard to try and get that form of team, and then for new players to try and get them in, we teach them from ground up, and then try to build their javelins up. So it's very hard for new people who's run, let's say, they've been there for about a good 100 hours worth of gameplay. It's very hard for them to switch into a different build style where there's less armor, there's less versatility for them for what they used to. But however, it's like high risk, high gain. So
Right.
trying to form somebody from ground up to actually play that kind of style is very hard because that's when it really shows the players the true skill involved.
Right. So
Vanguard is an example, for instance. When we used to run like Cataclysm, we just used to run crystals and everything else, but we wanted to make sure that he benefits the maximum amount of crystal. So you used to hear me screaming at him, "Why are you killing the Valkyrie?" or "Why are you not hiding?" or something else. He remembers all of this arguments and everything else, and he's just, "Whoa,
I'm the
whoa, whoa! I
governor.
didn't know this." Okay, but
The
yeah,
governor.
it's all calm.
The governor.
So
Yeah, but and it's funny, but looking from my and everything they were saying is true. And the beautiful thing was that not only that, and the Boom Boom and all this hot, they had their own little rooms and everything. Everybody would come from different discords. Some would try to infiltrate us and try to get their secrets. So when I see that energy,
There
they
were
were out.
literally no secrets. Like I can
I'm
clearly say
sorry?
that. There's literally
What?
no secrets. We kept no secrets. Like,
Yeah.
just
No, you
people
didn't. But I'm saying it was
presume.
different. Listen.
Yeah.
Energy, when I used to go into the rooms, you guys just scream at me. Okay, get out, Bango, not now. Don't talk to us. Remember? You guys
You
were
talk
so
too much, Mango. Get
synchronized.
out.
Yeah, you guys are so
You talk too
synchronized and they
much.
love each other. It's just when they started or launched something, they kind of knew already what they had to do. When you have other people that, without saying their names, their discords, when you went into their Discord, they were competing against each other, and it wasn't the same vibe as what we did here with LegoManiacs people. And that's what was so nice about doing these runs and these people being synchronized. And I think earlier Mike mentioned something about, was there ever any kind of conflict or any kind of challenge with each other? No, it wasn't. It was a matter of that's how it happened. And then there was other discords wanting to come in, pop into us like hitchhiker, go to these people's room, and then either they stayed or left, or they figured out what, when Dad and Boom Boom were doing all their crazy stuff all over the place. You see them in the little dots. Then they would go start. Um, it was just a different way of these top leaders, that how they did it was all synchronized, and it was amazing. Now people are grinding a lot. These we still keep our Lego Maniac active with many ways. I think that's one of the beautiful things about us, is that we kept it, in the anticipation of Anthem 2.0 coming out, and then of course play other games. But the good thing is to keep everybody together. So when Anthem 2.0 does come here, Anthem 2.0 does, come, when Anthem 2.0 comes, we're going to be able to all of us still stay intact, and we still have all those people interested. I always talk to them and everything.
I
Anyway,
still play it almost daily.
Awesome.
Almost daily.
we all
So,
do.
I mean,
We all do.
So for a high level group that you all have on PC, Xbox, I imagine you probably have some PlayStation players also. So what is like the main desire that you all have for 2.0? Is it, I mean, beyond just more content and fix the little things, I mean, what does a group like you all really want? I mean, is there something specific that, hey, we want these tools for speedruns, or we want the leaderboards back? I mean, what's the big desire for 2.0 from you all?
6 players at once.
6-player content?
So the 6-player
GM5.
content was like that.
I did.
Can give the number one thing that I would appreciate is if they actually really brought in a proper raid. Because at the
what?
current moment, a raid. Um,
oh
so
yeah,
if you-
yeah.
yeah. So at the current moment, you've got the dungeons, which are basically the
They're like Destiny strikes.
temples. They're more
Yeah.
like Destiny strikes. When you had the Cataclysm come in, that was more like Sherpa raid. If you played like D1 or something, well, sorry, D2. When everybody's tried that kind of thing out, but it's event based. It's more of like a new free play map, but with events in there for you to complete. It's like a mission control. It's great there in its own sense, but it's not an end game content. It's great in order to play. It's great for the high scores, and I like the way that they've done the system for the high scores and everything else. But there's more intuitive ways where if we had a proper raid, for instance, we have like a big pillar inside the middle of the free play map. Everybody, there was one point where Twitter said, "Go into free play, there's something happening." Nothing happened. I spent literally 6 hours there. I had one Fury pop up. That was the first ever time I've ever seen a Fury pop up, but nothing happened. So there's a sense of exploration there, but we really, really wanted that raid where it forces all the players to communicate, 6 players, go in, and it's really, really good content. And whether you want to go for a high score, you could build it up through there, or if you wanted it through with a speedrun score as well, you could have done it through in that one point, because they have some great bosses there. They have some great team behind them in order to create all of this content, and we would really, really love to have that raid.
And Knight, I'm sure as a math guy, you have lots of comments about inscriptions and roles and stat sheets, is my guess.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I mean, that sheet is definitely will be a big upgrade. I mean, unlike there's not a lot of players that's like us or like top players that are willing to sit down, write down, multiply everything. Okay, I got 200%
Yeah.
this, blah blah, and it's the headache. Like I changed my bill a lot, and this is the headache. I'm like, okay, wait, I'm running 50% less ultimate now. I think, oh crap, I got to. I haven't got a calculator. I got a big calculator. I'm just like, ah. But like, there's a lot of little things they could do. Like I said, like the combo blast, combo impact, all that. They could just make it just one thing combo. It affects all balance. One increases the rate of getting it. Instead of, and then you won't fall into a situation where you're getting a combo impact and a combo blast on the same component, which is pretty much useless. So, they could definitely clean that up. I feel like some of the descriptions, like delay, like shield delay and like force, stuff like that. Like when they were talking about the mastery system and like having that like that after you hit level 30, I feel like that's the place where you can add like small things that doesn't really sound like it matters, but can be pretty big. Because like I said, shield delay is pretty cool. Like on a storm, like if you ever watch a storm with like high shield delay, it's pretty dope. It never stops healing. But you also don't want to give up, your component slots for the shield delay when you have, double damage or other ultimates or whatever the case is. So I feel like they could balance the subscriptions and the builds of it, but you know, yeah. But it's just like to talk about, just like you said, like a raid. Like I want them to kind of keep the core of what they have and then just extend on it. Don't try to completely wipe everything clean and start over. Like I said, the Cataclysm, I think it's great content, very unique. It's free roam, it's not straightforward. It's fun. You should keep that. They integrated into the storyline, which I thought was pretty cool. And I mean, honestly, the way they did it, you can make a million of them. Oh, there's a portal over here. We go to the portal, different Cataclysm. You can keep that forever
Yep.
and just make events off that, and then go into a Destiny and then create like a 6-man raid, 8-man, so however they want to do it, and just keep building. I just hope they keep the core like the flying mechanics and stuff that's
Yeah.
so well.
They need to get rid of four tasks.
Yeah.
I think we need. Well, I think
Listen,
one of the biggest things that we need is a little better crafting system. We
There's
we
a crafting
have,
system?
You have, yeah, your crafting system. Where you have epics and legendaries and stuff like that. Right now, you can't craft legendary at all, and you have different materials that you pick up through in Bastion and stuff like that, and you cannot target a certain inscription. There's no way to do that really. There needs to be a way that you can build a component or craft a component, craft this, craft that, and use certain types of material to make this type of inscription. At this time we don't have a way to do that. That would make it where you could actually build something that you were shooting for instead of just playing until you get something by chance. That would be a great thing to have. Definitely need a crafting
I think
system that's a bit more enhanced.
what about once you reach legendary,
Yeah.
they should get rid
I
of.
just don't want go for it, Mango.
Go ahead. No. I was gonna say something. You're-
I was gonna say once again for tasks, ideally not to make it single player. I'd rather have it filled with players on the
Yep.
base. So how you form up free play, let's say if it's zone based, for instance, all the players in one zone, and when you spread out from the zones, it will automatically go into the servers. It can be done where you can form up a team into the four tasks. You'll still get your individual icons pop up here and there. So it'll be like a little town that you can actually visit. And then once you leave from that town, you go into an open base, into free play or something like that. That would be really, really awesome rather than having to go into 3 menus every single time to actually go back in to the game. And then you have that other one zone that nobody ever spends their time in. They only created it there for the time players.
The launch bay.
Yes, the launch bay.
That is, and
Laundromat.
talk to people.
Laundromat.
That's how I recruit people, by the way. Like, remember, I go in there, I call it the laundry room. And unfortunately, all you have is a couple of greetings. I'm looking for more teams. I want to be able to get in a mic and make an announcement and say, "Hey, come with us if you want to live." You know?
It'd be a great idea because if you make fort,
No, I'm serious.
no, no. What I'm trying to say is, if you made fort into a great area, you can even put homes inside, so you can put into your javelins in there, like different sets of javelins to showcase. Just pop into my house for a second. Look at all of my javelins and everything. They can really see the designs in.
Oh my
So you
god!
can have all of these other creative
That's
sites
awesome.
for other teams and everything else. That sounds awesome. That's
Showroom.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a little
Check
showroom
these
for
stats
every
out. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And Dad said earlier, get rid of Fort Tarsus. When it was snowing, they were all wearing tank tops though. And that ham they've been cutting all the time, it's prosciutto by now. It's like, hey, it's cute. You start the game and you go, wow, this is cool. And now, you get tired of seeing this thing. And you run through it anyway. So either way, you hit R and you bypass all this stupidity.
Yeah.
Well, I
I think laundry room is kind of dumb, honestly.
Yeah, and I
Well,
hope.
then
Go ahead.
it'd be so much more better if you can fill it up with players and Fort Tarsus. Even throw in a little ball, they kick it around for a bit. But having these little things there for the players, it'll make Fort Tarsus a much more joyful place.
Teacher, can I say something?
Did
Yes,
you just
bingo
raise
in the
your
back.
hand?
He raised his hand.
No, I'd like to say something.
Laughing inside.
We need some button that we could eject the randoms. I speak 20 different languages, including Cleon. Okay?
You can't include a button.
Stop means stop. Coño,
You can't
chico.
include a button like that because then nobody will be like, well, if I walk in, they're just going to kick me out. So,
Yeah,
that was,
I push his pocket, go, oye, para, ahora, stop. Konnichiwa, whatever it is, they know, stop. You hear my voice. So we have to go
Yeah.
eject, and
Well-
somehow it takes them out, and it brings in Steve or brings in Mike. It's as simple as that.
well, we gotta talk about that.
I-
Being able to, vote the kick.
Am
and
I
stuff.
right or wrong? Because it's
The problem with that is though, like, so the Anthem community is pretty good overall. Like we hate randoms and stuff, but we still do the runs, and it is what it is. The problem with having to vote the kick is that I feel like the game gets so toxic so fast. Because I got
Yeah.
people who's like, you go down, you getting kicked. Like, and it's
Yeah.
just like,
that it would ruin the game. It would ruin the game. I believe in my heart that it would ruin the game.
what? No, wouldn't. No, wouldn't. I think that why would it ruin the game?
Well, just because people wouldn't want to play because the first time they messed up, they're going to be afraid that they would be kicked from the mission or contract or whatever you're
Yeah.
on. Stronghold.
like you hit a wall and you actually, mess up a word trail.
Bye bye. Now your consumables are gone. You got to recraft, start a new mission, then you might get kicked on that one too.
Deb Snow in
I
chat
think-
says I'd kick bingo.
Yeah. Bango would get kicked.
Dr. Windu says we would all kick bingo.
Oh my God, that's my nephew.
You're next.
Yeah. Those are Cuban rednecks in Homestead. They live in the red list. I think that one of the I think or some nice ways to, hey, you know what, maybe like a friendly fire, like bring down his levels. It's the second time, then I don't know. Maybe
He's
I'm
just
wrong.
nuke him instead of kick him.
I think maybe an expanded chat wheel. Maybe I don't know if kicking people and shooting them in the head is the
the
way
only-
to go on this.
Bango would not
Just
shoot
take out your battery here.
But
Gonna jam up
No.
your javelin. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna feed you to it. Grab it. No, it's cool. You went down. It's all right. You'll be all right. Stay here.
I think
Stay here,
that
Red
the only-
Cross. No, you stay here. We're gonna leave you on this spike. That's the start. Too good for
I
us.
even talk to randoms in Cleon. Whatever,
oh
they don't
my
understand.
god.
I think
Yeah,
that one of the
yeah. Bango,
the-
you're
the
getting
laundry-
kicked, bro. Yeah, that's not helping.
You're
your
talking
case, man.
Klingon, you're getting kicked.
Telling people you
I don't
speak
care.
Klingon, that's like auto kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I
Go to
can't
the
say
corner.
about the laundry room, laundry tray, is that the person that go into that room is while they're all playing and they're all doing their crazy stuff, and everybody's either vaping or drinking or whatever it is on happy hour is I escape, go to launch bay, hit my social, pull up everybody's number, and anybody about 400 and above, I say, hey, how would you like to go higher? And that's how I go in there and I recruit people because you know what? While we're grinding and everything that we've been doing, because we've been grinding for the same wardrobe, I call it, in Forge. We've been grinding for the same stuff for the longest time and the same build. And we get a Lego, Lego, but I've already had the crap. So when you bring in the new people, those are the ones that's going to keep Anthem alive because they want to be just like us. You understand that? So
Yeah,
when we
exactly.
train them, it is they get excited, and that's way by the time if we keep recruiting the new people that keep coming in because the Anthem is now like $9.
There's a ton of
Whatever it
new
is.
people on right now.
Lot of new people, and I go in there and say, "Hey guys, check out our guys." Like, was it that just said it about they can see our build? So when they see our build and we're GM3, they go, "Look, you don't pick GM3, you're gonna die, but you're gonna die and you're gonna live." So it's as simple as that. So when you do that, these newbies are so excited about getting to where we're at that it keeps Anthem alive until the anticipation of Anthem 2.0 to arrive. Which, seriously, I don't know when that's gonna happen, but that's how I see it. And then at the same token, it does work. Look, David's
Then,
training
then,
KFC
then,
now.
then they
he
become
dies.
loyal to LegoManiacs, and then that keeps us going as well.
It's turned KFC into a monster. The guy doesn't sleep for like 3 days.
Yeah.
I said, you gotta sleep, dude. Think, but it works.
And those
It
are
works.
all valid points because really, I mean, gaming is so many different things to so many different people. And
Yeah.
it reaches so many different people. My youngest boy is 8 and he's gaming. He's into it. Bango, you said that you're the oldest here and we'll leave it at that. And you're gaming and picking it up and doing it new. And everybody's in between, right? And everybody goes there for a different reason. Some people come there for story, some come for community, some come because their buddy said, "Hey, get this game." So it's really neat when a community can evolve
Absolutely.
that isn't toxic, that has this feeling of camaraderie and actual community where people can get together and go through and do and build. And it really strikes me the eclecticness of the group. People from different walks of life. The summer cowboy computer builder, the media, multimedia entertainment guy that Bango is, the mathematician in night. Like that's cool stuff. That's cool to see in it, and it's really
bro.
needed in the world today with
Personalities.
the global and everything going
Absolutely.
on. It's what's needed right now, and we totally appreciate that. And it's been super fun to talk to you guys because it's just fun to talk to other guys that have the same interests, the same things, and the same kind of nerdiness that we try to not admit that we find in ourselves, but it's there.
And
All the guys that work pick on me because I play video games when I go home. I'm a single dad. I'm a plumber. Wear a cowboy hat. I drive a truck. I got a trailer and a lawnmower. And then I go home to a 35-inch ultra-wide monitor and phone out for 2 or 3 hours at a time.
Hey, David, can you
It's great though.
That's awesome.
There's go ahead, do it.
There's my spit cup.
That works.
Don't drink the spit cup.
The guys at work are all like, he's probably the smartest guy I know. I sound like a hick, but I'm not stupid. So I mean, it works out.
You guys might not know this, but I think Steven walked in us on a Friday when we were doing happy hour.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even get a word in because we were all screaming. But down on our bottom, we created because he's got a son, and we have Gold Tooth. He's from
Sweden.
He's from Sweden. Yeah. And his son is 10, and then David's son, which
my son and his son play together.
Is he around you somewhere?
Nathan.
Incredible. We created a treehouse. Yeah, stop screaming at your son. He created a treehouse that he's a good kid. That you could go in there, and I remember Gold Tooth one day I'm at work, and he's like, "Bango, I can't get out of the treehouse because when you get in, somehow the roles we created, he couldn't get out, so he was stuck there for 2 hours. Even doesn't matter how he did it, somehow he was stuck in there. So the treehouse was made for kids that are 10 and under, and they're able to play with each other and not hear all the grotesque things that his father says, or the other one, or this one. I'm the only one I hear.
I do remember when I jumped in there, though, Bango, you were dying a lot on that run that you guys were on. I think that's...
Who said that?
That is definitely Bango.
Get it. Get
He's
it.
always admiring the
Listen, I
landscape.
never said that I'm the best player. I just, I'm like the Red Cross. If I see you guys are in danger, this Cuban mafia is going to help you guys.
Bango is here for entertainment purposes only. He's just another pretty face.
Yeah.
So, so aside from luring all these sub 10-year-olds to the treehouse, which doesn't sound weird at all, by the way.
Listen,
Don't worry.
David, tell him.
That's not weird at all. That's totally
Still-
normal.
Yeah,
Like,
so
can I-
Katya said that.
can I
Because
say
that's great.
Can I say something? The way I did it was I went to launch bay, and unfortunately I can't talk, right? If I wish I could talk, I'd say, everybody come over here. And I talk to everybody. I'm looking for 10-year-olds for our room. So Sakata, go ahead, David says,
The guy said that sounds real good. A grown man looking for kids in a video game. That seems real appropriate. He went, "Oh my God, wait a minute."
I'm pretty sure I saw that episode on Nightline at one time.
so but I didn't see it that way. I saw it really innocent, trying to look for kids to come play with us, and it worked. But yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah, 55-year-old man going into a and looking for here.
So on that note, I would like to thank you all for coming and hanging out with us on the Freelancer Codex. Because really, Anthem is one of the things that got our podcast started and led us to the things that we've been able to do. Talk to a lot of developers on the Anthem team, from BioWare, from other video games, and just kind of take us to where we have been now. So, I mean, I love talking about Anthem. I love hearing people that are still excited about video games, that still enjoy the community, still enjoy bringing people together, because that's what it's all about. So if you don't mind, if we go around, I would love for you guys to plug where people can follow you if you want to be followed on Twitter, or if you want to plug the Discord. How can people find LegoManiacs?
Just the way you said it.
We have a Facebook page. Go ahead, Mango. You created it.
No, go ahead.
You got it? Go ahead.
Yeah, but I like it in your accent better because then you spit right after. LegoManiacs.
We have a Facebook page. It's the Anthem League LegoManiacs that they can look for and search for. It's a public group. If you want to know about me, my Origin ID is Bryant David 3904. Look me up on Origin and we can make some runs sometime. I'm Captain Dave Man on Discord. Welcome to shoot me a message or a friend request and come in and hang out. I promise you will enjoy it.
Yeah, that.
We have a really good group of people. Everybody's fun loving. There's no bunch of animosity in there. Nobody's fighting and arguing when they do. It's we
and guess what? We don't have to wear masks.
no.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I can't deal with a mask.
Yeah. And then Dad, he's from the UK and he plays with us and he's in the room all the time. LegoManiac. Just I think if you find it, I think LegoManiacs is how you're gonna find it on Discord. And also, we are the Anthem League, LegoManiacs on Facebook. All you gotta do is type that in, LegoManiacs, and you'll be able to find us there. Add us, and there's 3 questions there, questionnaire on how's your build and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool as you're signing up. It asks you 3 questions on before you enter the room. So
Yep.
LegoManiacs.
I'll approve it. I'll approve it.
Yeah, you gotta approve it.
Very cool.
Yeah. I interview everybody. You hear about us? You don't know.
You want to come to my treehouse? So thank you guys again for coming on. So Facebook, LegoManiacs, you've got your Discord link there on your Facebook page. So if anyone that wants to come, play at a high level, learn the game, have a great group of people to play with, a very welcoming group of people, then that's the place to do it. So again, thank you very much for coming on to the show. And for everyone over in Twitch, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for, sticking with us for this hour and 10-minute interview that we had. If you want, please follow us over on Twitch. It would help us out a lot. And until next time, we'll sign off, and I hope everyone stays safe. And you know what? It's, find someone that needs help and help someone out, and, do a good deed for the day. So until next time, we'll see you all later.
Peace.
All right, so I'm going to stop recording audio. We are still live on Twitch. So if anyone's on Twitch, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and shoot them to us, and we'll just do a quick Q&A. If you guys want to hang out for a little bit, we'll do that. Or if you need to leave, that's fine.
That's fine.
Let's see.
I got a few.
Mike always
That
wants
sounds
to.
good.
Dad, are you okay there? I know Dad had coffee.
So do you guys have a favorite weapon? Best weapon in the game? Besides, I mean, for a while it was what? Rainmaker for a while?
Oh yeah, Rainmaker was so good.
Yeah,
Free nerf Jora's Wrath all the way.
yeah, George Wrath,
Jora's Wrath.
Rainmaker. I
Free
really
nerf.
like Fastest Surprise because I've got a good one, I guess.
Yeah.
I kind of got accustomed to Fastest Surprise when I was running my ulti build on the Ranger because it's mad how fast you get your ultimate when you have it set up right. But I
Yeah,
like
see,
that pistol.
Yeah,
The draft,
the Master Surprise or the Grave Digger if you really want to get your ulti
Yeah.
up really quick. But you
Yeah,
need the
especially if you got one with
components at the first stage.
250 elemental damage or something like that. It really does some good damage.
But the meta at the current moment is the Rainmaker. I guess
Mhm.
everybody needs a Rainmaker.
Yeah.
But if you were there at the time, the Jora's Wrath,
George Wrath,
you
boy.
got
Those
100%
things are-
Feather that trigger. So let's see. Phaedron has a
Man.
question in chat. I'm gonna put
Who has a question?
I'm gonna put a link to your guys' Discord here in chat. For some reason I have the links pulled down, but I think I have
You want to send it to you?
I think I have an
I think
invitation
you have
from
some
you.
questions.
Let's
You
see.
want to send it to you, Steven?
Yeah, go ahead and send that to me. Phaedron says, if I've played 900 plus hours and never had a double roll, should I just give up? Did Phaedron just give up?
No.
No.
No. RNG is a bitch, and trust me, there's people out there that have some crazy amount of hours and still now have like the double rolls they're looking for. Like, and then there's some people who has like 400 hours and have like 6 double ultimate rolls, something crazy like that.
Just keep buying those.
What I can say is wait until the component chest comes back on
Yes.
the seasonal. Just save
Yep.
up crystals till then and just spend all your crystals on that store. That's the only time that you'll get it.
If you're a random all the way from Russia says, Anthem decides what and when you get it. So, Phaedron, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I feel your pain, man, but you're at the mercy of Anthem RNG.
Yeah, that's RNG for you right there. I mean, I've gotten over that after about the first 3 months. Playing back whenever you got a Lego once a week. These guys that are playing
There is-
now, 10 a day. I mean, come on.
Of course, the side events as well. There is something better than the best defense. You've got you could either use the Vessel's Arc if you wanted to, or the Venom Storm. They're the two to go for if you get your build right with the Solvent Green. I guess the Solvent Green is hard to let go of. It's very
Yeah.
Like impossible.
it's
Yeah.
very impossible.
You guys have a game
You
you're
don't know
excited?
what Solvent Green is. The Solvent Green gives you 200% more combo damage.
Yeah.
You guys have a game that's not Anthem coming up soon that you're excited about?
I'm excited for the
Here we
Avengers game. Here we go.
Ah, yes.
A new Avengers
Yeah.
That was
game.
good too.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk.
I'm trying out VR for the first time, I guess, tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll try that Half-Life Alex game and see what happens.
Take some
Maybe I
Dramamine
won't
before you
throw
do
up
it.
Yeah, maybe I won't throw up in my living room floor or trip over my coffee
Look
table.
at Mike. Look at Mike. That's how Mike was actually. You were showing a little bit of the examples, and like Mike doing exactly what you were doing with that gunk
Mike's
Yeah.
playing Beat
nipple vision or
Saber.
something, whatever that was. There's also outsiders that Lifer from our team suggested.
That's the highest.
So,
Outriders,
Yep, that one's
Outriders,
gonna
what
be
did I
pretty
say?
sweet.
Outsiders.
yes.
Let's
Yes,
see.
yes. I
Phaedron
think the most
asks,
important thing about the marble is that we could all play together, right? That's to me what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Be
tend to
full
look
day.
for multiplayer games.
Phaedron in the chat asks, what's the highest single DPS hit in the game?
I think I can answer this one.
You
The
can,
highest I've seen personally was
Yeah.
Colossus on Skilos. He has the lowest my defense, and he hit it for 11 mil with one rocket.
11
Yeah.
mil?
Okay, that's his ulti. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's ulti.
ulti.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that's
an
ulti
ultimate.
damage. Okay, 11. I think the highest I've probably seen then as a single combo is with the Ranger. It was 1.5 mil
Yeah.
destination. Yeah.
1.8.
I was playing with a guy named Royal the other day, and we were
Have you
running
seen
the legendary
1.8?
mission.
So the Colossus Ultimate it's broken. But
Yeah.
combo impact actually increases the combo damage off the ultimate.
What?
So if you stack combo impact on a Colossus and you shoot your ulti in combo, the highest I've seen people get it right now is 1.8 mil. Which again, why is that a thing? Doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, it's Anthem. So
Yeah, that's the math in the background, and it's doing something. So Tavir Random says, "Very fun show. Thanks for the show." And I guess we have to thank Tavir Random for us getting together, because he messaged me and he's like, "Hey, go talk to these guys." I was like, "All right, I'll go talk to him." So
was really awesome about that. I really appreciate that and this opportunity.
yeah, we appreciate you all being able to come on, and hang out and chat with us.
Let me give you the official one real quick. I sent you one already on our Discord, but let me go ahead and make sure you get the overall one, okay? So, Steve, I'm going to send you that right now.
Let's see.
To our Discord.
Let me see which one I put in there. Discord launch app.
All right. Well, I gave you Anthem Universities, where everybody usually goes in there. And okay, here's the one.
All right, I'll put that one in there also.
Oh well, I don't know where that was. Okay, hold on. Make sure I got invite.
I will copy this and I'll put it over here in the chat for everyone.
That's the one from Anthem University?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's basically for training and stuff like that. But then there's like different rooms where that's at night, everybody. Then overall, Fridays, by the way, so everybody knows, listen, can I make this? Because Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern time, okay? 3 or 4 hours, we do have a happy hour, meaning that, and now we teamed up with another group, which is the only group I've ever let in because they've been so cool, is Iron Gamers.
Iron Gamers.
Absolutely, because they're really nice. It's the same beat, and we're going to be doing stuff back and forth. And yes, happy hour is a great time to meet everybody. Everybody splits up, drinks, whatever they're going to do it, and then we split up into groups so we can all.
We're playing. That night is a play for fun night, and it usually is pretty fun. And there'll be 15, 20 people in one channel, just talking over each other. It's hilarious. It is hilarious.
Well, Steve, you walked in on us.
I did, yes.
Yeah, you should have seen last week. I couldn't even talk, which is weird.
It was crazy. It's funny.
Okay,
It usually lasts for about a couple of hours, and then it'll start dwindling down to the last 3, and it usually ends up being me and a couple of others.
Well, what happens is at midnight, if you're still on, then the people from Indonesia come on because they're 10 hours ahead and they're waking up.
Oh yeah, you have Lazy Gamer and all them come on.
Yeah, all the Indonesians come over here and they start playing. So, and the cool thing about that is that we have different admins. Like Kakash is from Germany. You got Glacier. He's from Canada. That from UK. Got over here John Wayne. He's an hour behind in the US. And myself. So what happens is everybody, since it's different time zones, gets to host that time zone. So I don't have to be up all night. Trust me, I would. But yeah, I just sent you a new link with the actual if you want to have that. I don't know if that's going to change what you already posted up. If not, it's all good on the Anthem University. So
I will send that one in there.
And honestly, you know what? That's how we do it too. I think that I can say that we do play Anthem a lot. I would say a good 75%. It used to be 100% all the way, but then we play other games. But they play within our, we even play GTA. I've become a thug.
I don't play GTA.
Not like.
I don't play that. I can't wrap my head around that one.
You know why I play it? Because I can play with 4 other people. And the first thing I did is I bought real estate.
Oh, you got to invest. You got to invest.
Yeah, I think one thing I would probably agree with me is when YouTubers kept going on about all the clips outside the wall, going outbound and everything else, to actually do one of them runs, to actually consistently do one of them runs just to get a score, the amount of communications that you had to do and the amount of retries or retries after retries to do it just to get that score takes a lot of skill.
It's insane.
It's literally insane. When YouTubers used to always preach about how cheating it is, we were just like whatever, but we were actually respecting the people because it was a lot more. Because this is the side of the community that YouTubers never see. It's just like the true community that actually pushes them, that have been there from day one. So I've been playing this game for since day one, and these players that I've been playing with have been there through the tough times as well. And it's very hard when, let's say, a YouTuber comes in and he's like, "Oh, this person cheating," but then coming down now, where are they? There's not a single one there vouching for the games, but we're still here
Right.
for the whole community. And it really upset quite a lot of people in the community when they were posting these out, when they were like, "I'm not going to do this because this thing is fair enough." Okay. But then they were calling out the people that were like, even if they did it the normal way, they'll still get the highest score, even if they didn't do went living outside the wall. So it all came down to the javelin builds that you got, the rolls that you got with the javelins. It really came up down to the skills and how you utilize them rolls for the javelins. So no matter what happened, they'll always rise to them. And there was literally no respect coming from that community, from YouTubers, about all of them players that were actually keeping that the meta for the top score, always pushing the other team.
I got yelled at because on one of our shows we were talking about the Cataclysm and doing our runs, and I said, you know what? If they stopped doing the exploits, those teams would still be the top of the leaderboards because they put way more time in to even find the exploits, way more time in to coordinate for those that, to do those runs. They would just find a different way to get the high score. I got all kinds of heat after we did an episode because they're like, you can't say that. You can't say that they would still be at the top. Like, no, 99% sure they would probably still be at the top. Because if they were there in the beginning, like they found all this stuff in the first place, stuff that most people never would have even.
Player regardless.
Right.
Still a higher skill player.
But the funny thing is, it's not them players that actually found it. It's actually other players that found it that brought it to the attention.
Right.
When other players were doing it before all these high, let's say Grey Phoenix or anything else, because he knew about some of these exploits and everybody knew about certain ones like farming, for instance. But once you find something like clipping, it was always a different team. They used to get that one up. Then you're always thinking to yourself, how is this possible? But you're doing it the legitimate way, still getting that score towards them, and then you discover that they've been doing it a different way, and then you incorporate that, you actually just dominate that score, and then it's just like, what the hell? That's where this threshold comes to the community, where once you're involved at a high skill with a high team, there's literally sky's the limit for you.
Yeah, and I think, coming from a background of playing Halo, I think everyone that has ever played Halo, like, we would spend hours trying to get out of the maps, right? Because it was just fun to get out of the maps. Because it's like, how far does this go? How does this build? So, like, we push that. Like, the whole speedrunning community is built on how can we break this game to complete it the quickest way possible.
Yeah.
Like that, and you know what? They have 100% legit runs. They have glitchless runs. I mean, that's like the speedrunning community. I think is one of the greatest like gaming communities out there because they're pretty welcoming to everyone, and like they're pretty like upfront about everything that they do. Like, I mean, anytime they start streaming games done quick, I mean, it's all on display. These groups of people that run these games that hardly anyone ever plays anymore, and they master these games and they have a passion for it, and it's like. Those guys can all like, break the game and we applaud it. But over here in Anthem, all of a sudden it's like sacred if you like pass through a little place under a bridge. Like, I don't know. I never understood the whole you're cheating, then it doesn't matter thing. But
yeah.
And then I am
Iron Man. It doesn't bother me whether they do it or not. It's just everybody's got their preference. If you want to go for it, go for it. I mean, you're not gonna hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I am Iron Man in Twitch says, thanks for the shout out. Iron Gamers and LegoManiacs for the win.
There's Steve.
There's he's good people. And by the way, from their channel, they got some pretty badass players too. Super nice. Not only very funny, and you got Dev. These people are just
you got Dev, Steve, and Royal.
That's the first time in the whole year and a month that we've been doing this, right? Meeting people left and right. That they were allowed because they were more of what we do as LegoManiac, what makes LegoManiac. Now we have neighbors. It's like you go to New York. You're gonna be to New York, you bar hop. Like, stay here, stay here. So it's the same thing over here. But unfortunately, there's been other bar hopping here, and they do it for the wrong reasons. That's why you have a sheriff. It's all good. It's all good.
Well, cool, guys. I appreciate it. I think we'll end it here. We'll give you guys a little bit of your time back since, we're all over all the place on our area codes. But thanks for coming on. Maybe, 2.0 comes around. We'll do it again. We'll have a chat about, where LegoManiacs is in 2.0 and what we want to see from the game. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. And chat, again, thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you later. And you know what? Before you leave, hit the follow button. And we'll see you on the next one. So, see you, everybody.
Later.
There's a button.
See you guys. Thanks so much.
Hasta luego.
So, welcome back, everybody, from that interview. We're glad that you got to sit back and you got to chat with them. If you want, well, I just thought you knew what we were doing, but next time I'll have to explain a little bit more. So, thank you, everyone, for watching episode 125 of the Freelancer Codex podcast. We appreciate you being here with us. We appreciate the LegoManiacs spending time with us. We hope that everyone is staying safe. We hope that if you're protesting, you are staying safe. We hope that everyone, we hope that this provides a little bit of joy at this time where things can seem really, really bad. So thank you for spending your time with us and choosing to spend your time here with a bunch of idiots that don't really know that much about video games. So, I mean, it's stupid, but hey, we love doing this. You can find us over at freelancercodex.com. That is where all of our stuff can be found on our website. If you want to support us, please do that at patreon.com/freelancercodex. It helps a lot. Or you can support us by following us here on Twitch. That'll help us a lot now that we're affiliated and we can get some benefit from that. But thank you, everyone, for spending your time with us. I'm Steve, and for Mike and Devon, this has been the Freelancer Codex.
Thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter at Freelancer Codex, on Facebook at Freelancer Codex, or through email at freelancercodex@gmail.com. Join the Discord through the link provided at freelancercodex.com. Our show will always be free, but if you'd like to send some support, you may do so at patreon.com/freelancercodex. Our individual Twitter handles are at Steven Lamson, at mlamson25, at Neverfear, and at JD the Joke Dealer. Freelancers, it's time to get to work.